What's up, guys? We are live. Why does it seem so much brighter than last night? Every time I use StreamYard or just do anything, maybe I've changed the light slightly, but got a sleeping dog in the background as well. Yeah, so yeah, I'm actually liking this slightly better than last night. Oh shit, there she goes. My little Daisy, little Springer Spaniel. Love her so much. I'm a bit confused. Like the Xbox is not connecting to internet, and my phone isn't either. But this is. So it's saying that I've got no internet, and yet this is working. So I'm really, really confused as to how that is even possible. Because this is fine, clearly, because the chat's coming through. Um, James says maybe there's an update that needs to be done. That happens to me with the PS4 all the time. Maybe, possibly. I'm not very computer savvy, Jamie. I'll be fair. I'm really not. You won't mind me saying this. We're of a certain vintage, where we're of an age. You're probably maybe more clued up than I am, but as a 46-year-old, I get really stressed out with technology. I don't really know what the hell I'm doing. So when something happens that like throws me out the loop, I'm a little bit like, "What the fuck, man? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing." Um, yeah. So yeah, I was kind of trying to wrap my head around how I could have internet on the computer but not on the phone or the Xbox. It's probably something completely simple, but yeah, it's something that goes way over my old head. Um, but yeah, as I say, I'll say it now. Anybody who has not left a like on the stream, leave a like on the stream now, because I always forget to say leave a like on the stream, and I think it makes a difference. It does. I think it does make a difference to YouTube and no matter how small it may make the slightest difference, and any difference makes all the difference to little channels like ours. So yeah, if anybody watching now, watching in the future, just puts a like on the stream, much appreciated. I say this is like a different setup. If you weren't on last night in the live chat, basically, yeah, I've basically hijacked my son's desktop computer, so I actually feel like a proper YouTuber now. Like decent camera, decent computer. It just feels a lot. Unfortunately, Friday night, I'm gonna for the Halloween ends live stream, which is I'm gonna be doing. It's gonna be back to the old crappy laptop, so it's gonna be back to jerky me head jerking everywhere with a shitty fucking connection. But it is what it is, But it would have been nice to have done the Halloween ends live stream with this setup, but unfortunately, like my son, he's not working that night, so he's going to be here. He's not going to let me take over his room for 2 hours at midnight. That's not happening. He's going to want to be either on his computer or in bed sleeping. So that's not happening. But it is what it is. I'm enjoying the freedom of the computer for now. That's why I have live streamed 2 nights on the run. Yeah, Jamie, that the difference, that's what a good computer with. I mean, it's nothing to do with internet connection. This is the difference between a £1,500 computer and a £300 laptop. It's the same. Literally, this is the same microphone and the same camera as what I use on a laptop, but this is the difference between a powerful desktop computer and some shitty old laptop that I usually use. That's all it is. It's the same camera and the same microphone, so that's the difference is amazing. And plus, I've got a nice, comfortable, like sort of swing, like chair can swing around in. Whereas usually I'm just sat on a couch or sofa, just like leaned over. Yeah, it's so much better. This I would live stream like every night of the week. I've had this sort of setup. I just love it. DJ says desktops. Yes, definitely a lot better. Let me just still need to know what I'm. Okay, invite, copied. Okay, cancel that. Post comment. Oh shit, I've forgotten what to do. That's what it is. So there's the link for anybody who wants to jump on. Anthony, thank you very much, man. I know JT's going to jump on. Anthony, thank you very much, man. Yeah, I think you missed last night's stream. Yeah, that was last night was the sort of the opening night of this new super setup that I've got going. I say super setup; it's just the same as what most YouTubers have. But yeah, don't make the most of it because, like I say, Friday night for the Halloween ends live stream, it's back to shitty old laptop again, and then we'll see how it goes. It's gonna jump between shit live streams and this sort of live stream, but the people who've been on board since the beginning, they've been used to shit, and they can get used to a little bit of quality, and they can go back to being a bit shit again. So so I just finished up watching Hellraiser. I don't know. I mean, I was talking about it last night actually. I actually quite enjoyed it. I don't think it was amazing. I think it was a JC jumping on now. But it wasn't perfect. But in terms of the Hellraiser franchise, I'm not really the biggest fan of the franchise. But I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than allegedly. It's a lot better than anything after 3. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the franchise, so I kind of gave up after Hellraiser 3. So I'm by no means an expert, but I enjoyed it. It maybe even wants me to check out Part 4. I know some people say Part 4 is decent, and then they say after 4 it just really drops off a cliff in terms of quality. But we'll wait and see. I'll just bring on JT now. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Okay, man.
I'm just moving down to another room. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan.
Yeah, last night I watched the stream last night. It sounds great. The connection, the sound, everything. I heard you just talking about it a little more now.
Yeah, it's the difference between streaming on a shitty laptop and like a proper desktop computer.
Now it's breaking up a bit. I don't know if it's my end or your end. Probably mine. Hold on. Now I'm in the good room. So, you hear me?
Yeah. Here you go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think it's a difference between a desktop and just some crappy laptop. Which
You're breaking up again. You sound like you're underwater. 1 second. All right. Talk.
Okay. It's coming through loud and clear.
Yeah, I hear you better.
Yeah.
Chad, is that just a me problem, or he's sounding good to you guys, right?
I think it may be on your end, mate.
Probably fine on her. Okay, cool. So it was just a me issue. It's probably my uncle using these. He's using these Xbox. It's just a microphone. That's it. Like, it's not great headphones, and he's listening to them the last 2 nights when we're upstate. Like, man, these sound phenomenal. And so I'm like, dude, they're like $20. Like, I got 2 other pairs right there, and they sound so much better. Why don't you use this one for a little bit? He's like, oh, I thought these were like, they sound good though. So, yeah, they're an Xbox Microsoft. Like for exactly this, or for playing online with friends. He's like, oh, he's I don't want to get into it, but he's been to prison for years and years and years, and so he's not like fully like integrated still with technology and everything going on today. But yeah, I mean, I it's funny you said Hellraiser. You just watched it because I was gonna watch it right after the stream tonight. I was gonna watch that and
It's
X. I found
yeah, definitely
yeah.
check X out. X is
I forgot you saw it, right?
yeah, I've seen X. Not
Okay, all
seen
right, good.
Pearl though.
Yeah, Pearl's on. Pearl, I can. I'll talk to you after.
Hellraiser. It's decent. It's
I've been
definitely
hearing that. Yeah,
decent. I'm not like the biggest Hellraiser mark. You
yeah,
know,
we're the same
I like
bag of
I like the first three movies. I kind of checked out after that. I do like the new film. It's definitely sort of I like the film, but it kind of just I'm kind of left feel a bit cold. It's like a modern sort. Maybe like I mentioned this in the stream last night. It seems like a modern trope now. Maybe as I get older, I get like less engaged with young like characters in the horror movies. You know these young sort of like late these Gen Z millennial type characters who are just
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
can't really relate to them,
So then you
and
start relating to other
they're
ones.
not they're not very likable characters.
Yeah, yeah.
And like you know, I'm gonna sound terrible now. This is gonna sound really really bad, but you know, what happened to horror movies with like hot girls in? Where did the hot girls go?
That's
Because
a very valid question.
Hellraiser's got fucking zero in
That's a
terms of like.
valid question, if ever.
I
So
mean, the league.
now I'm disappointed for afterwards
I
to
mean,
see this movie.
I'm
No,
sorry, but you know, take you back to the '90s where we just like hot girls everywhere,
oh yeah,
and I don't give a fuck if that sounds misogynist. You know, I
yeah.
think
No, it
that's
doesn't.
you know, it's just it is what it
It's what you
is.
look for in horror movies, like in
It's
slashers especially. Like
it's
it's nudity,
yeah,
kills, gore,
we
and like
want, but
maybe a cool mask or a cool look of the killer or something. Like that's
yeah,
not hard to satisfy. And
yeah,
it's when movies mess those few things up, is just when it drives me nuts. Like when certain movies just can't get any slasher or like horror tropes right in them, you know. But Hellraiser,
it's
I'm with you. I've never been a big Hellraiser fan. I like the first two, but even those two, they're not like films I would throw on every so often. Like maybe every few years, I'd see the first two Hellraisers. But I'm interested to see this. Is this a remake from you seeing it, a full on remake, or is it still
it feels
tied?
like
Kind of.
it kind of feels like something completely new.
Okay.
It doesn't really feel like it's connected to anything. Like I
Yeah.
say, it's been a long time since I've seen the first three films. I
Yeah.
mean,
Me
we're going back 25 years.
Okay, yeah, that is
But in
25 years since you last saw the first two?
oh yeah. I mean,
Okay,
I watched Hellraiser 1 in the early 90s,
yeah,
and then 2 and 3. Was never really. That's probably I think, but the Hellraiser franchise is like probably is like a somebody in like the late teens,
mhm,
like mid to late teens, at first watching the first film, maybe went a bit over my head. You
yeah.
know,
Well, yeah, because
the whole
same with me.
premise.
I just
Probably,
it never appealed to me, and I love
yeah,
Clive Barker. I respect him. He's got great work, but it just never clicked for me. It's one of those series that just never clicked, and I know a lot of people like you and me like that. I
yeah.
have a few friends that never got into Hellraiser after the first two.
If I checked in, if Hellraiser dropped in like '87, maybe when I was a little bit older,
Yeah,
maybe I would have got on board with it a bit more. But and when I did finally get into the Hellraiser franchise, you know, even though I was older, I think I was kind of just already hooked on the typical sort of slasher,
yeah,
you know,
that's
Friday,
understandable.
Nightmare, Halloween, and it was always a little bit darker.
Mm,
Hellraiser clearly it was darker. You know, the
yeah.
whole it it wasn't like your typical sort of like man in a mask going around killing. You
Yeah, and
know,
it didn't have like any of those real like how Freddy got more comedic, Chucky got more comedic. There's no
yeah,
like comedic tone. It was just very dark, which
yeah,
I like about the first movie, especially. The second one's pretty similar, but I love that darkness to it.
yeah. I mean, I think three. From what it's been a long
Yeah,
time
I don't
since I've seen
remember
three, but
three at all.
I do think I seem to remember three did sort of going down the path of like being a little bit like there was I think one of the Cenobites was like had like CDs that it threw at people
Oh, that
and
sounds
killed
familiar.
people. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what the fuck? What's that all about?
Well, I mean, it's the
So
thing with franchise, especially. How many are there? What, 11? This is the
oh,
11th, I think,
there's a
or
lot. I think
11 or
there's like
12,
yeah,
I think.
I've lost count.
I thought there were
But
more, but then someone said that. I think it was
that,
on a stream with
um,
you and me, and somebody said that the exact number, and I was like, really? I thought
Dan's
it was
in the
more
chat.
than that.
Dan,
Oh yeah,
Dan,
Dan
Dan,
will
Dan
know.
will tell us straight away
Yeah,
because
yeah, what's up, Dan? I was just talking to him before we hopped on.
yeah, Dan does the Lord's work. He watches the shit that we don't have to watch.
I
You know, it's like if like
like those bad movies too, though.
I
You
know
know.
I love bad movies, but it's nice to know because someone like Dan, he'll watch all the bad movies.
Oh yeah, like
So we
Tubi's,
know
like
we
Crocodile
yeah.
Walkers of the Lagoon, or like shit like
So,
that no one would watch.
so it's like
But yeah.
we know what bad movies to watch as
Mhm.
opposed to the really really bad movies.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
because I mean I saw I've yet I haven't seen the film yet, but I saw a guy in work. He showed me a trailer for it, and you might have seen this film. Dan's
Okay.
definitely seen the film. It may be old. It was a film called Killer Sofa.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, have you seen the film?
Yeah. Years and years ago, but I'll never
Oh my
forget the VHS
god!
box for it, which is
I
the
just
couch open, and it's just a ridiculous movie, man.
I saw he showed me the trailer, and I was like, I've never heard of this film. I was like, I saw the trailer. I was like, I need to see this fucking film, man.
Oh yeah, as soon as you
I
get
just
something that ridiculous,
the
you got
film,
to check it out.
the
Like
fact
it's
that you can make a sofa look evil because it's got like the two sort of
yeah,
like
there's the teeth and
yeah. Oh
shit.
god, it's so funny. But
I like some ridiculous movie, like, but they have to have some redeeming qualities. Like it
yeah,
can't just be a terrible movie just for the sake of being weird and terrible, and then it has nothing good at all in it. Then
yeah.
I can't deal with it. But if there's something fun, like if the character, the acting's so bad, but you know it, but a few characters are funny, good lines, like there's some good music, the kills are good, but everything else is not that great or anything like that, I can still take a few things good from it. But like things that it's rare for movies that don't have any redeeming qualities in it.
What I do enjoy there's a YouTube channel called it's not called EFAP, it's Moolah.
Okay.
It's a guy called Mauler. He's like a pretty big YouTuber.
Well, he did. Does he
Yeah,
do
he's
like long video
yeah,
series?
six
He
seven
did
hour
a
videos.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He did a response to a video. You know, I play
yeah,
the Dark Souls games. He did a 10-hour
yeah.
series of
He's got
responding to this one guy.
him,
He's great. He's great.
him and a bunch of guys. He's got another channel called Moolah, and he's
Mhm.
got like they do like it's called EFAP, which is like
Okay.
every frame of pause. So they go into a deep dive on like films and stuff where
Mhm.
they pause like every single scene, and they'll do like a
Wow.
10-hour live stream or analyzing every aspect of a film.
Every frame and stuff like it.
But
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
That's
But
something.
they do shorter videos, and they did a live watch along of Karen. You know the movie Karen.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. I
You
don't
know
know when the last time I saw it. If I did.
you know the Karen meme. You know the
Nah,
meme.
I don't pay attention to memes or any of that shit. I'm never on social media really, except
Yeah.
for
Okay.
since I started this channel, I made a Twitter and all that shit. Like
Yeah. So
that's
just
basically
basically,
it.
so the Karen became it kind of became a meme. It's like Karen. It's like this entitled white middle class woman with like a short haircut who complains constantly about things. She's very racist.
Oh, okay, I've heard this
Complains
too.
to the manager about things if things aren't got. So they made a movie called Karen, basically,
Mhm.
and it's basically they took this meme character, put her in a movie, and they put this white middle class woman in this in the suburbs, and they have a black couple move in next door, and it's basically the film is about her basically being very racist, hating the next door neighbor,
Yeah.
and it's just it's one of those so bad it's good movies, and these guys like Mauler and the other guys on his channel.
Mhm.
They just did like a live watch along, and it's just so funny. It's just because it's such it's people reacting to a movie that's so bad it's good. It's
Yeah, I know. It's so hard to describe those type of movies to people before they watch it. Like, try describing, like, I don't know, like I can't even think of a movie like The Killer Sofa, like you just said. Try to explain that to just like a non-horror fan or something.
yeah. Anthony
I could,
mentions the Killer Tire film,
oh,
Rubber. I've
Rubber,
not
yeah.
seen that film. I need to see that film.
I
And
haven't seen it in like I don't even know how long. I saw it once. That was it.
Yeah, I remember
don't
seeing
think
the
there's-
trailer for that. I was thinking, really? A movie about a killer tire?
Yeah.
Come
Yeah,
on, man.
they got
It's
crazy.
like
It's just
I was like,
ridiculous. Yeah.
there's
And
no.
those are the ideas that pass, I guess. So like when studios run out of ideas and just, all right, well, let's just make this thing alive, and it just gets greenlit. I guess.
So
Like, not all of them, but some do.
my question for maybe you might you may be aware, maybe I'm sure that Dan, Lorne are aware, but some of these really, really, really low budget movies that kind of get greenlit,
Mhm.
films like these shark, some of these shark movies like Shark House or whatever they're called, these really insane movies where it's
Like
just so
Sharknado.
yeah, well, maybe not Sharknado, not so much maybe because it's kind of got a slightly bigger budget behind it, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one's even less than that.
Less than that. Okay.
Where it's kind of like they're clearly paying people to make this film,
Yeah.
but the budget is even tinier than Sharknado, like ridiculous levels of tininess
Yeah.
with ridiculous levels of bad acting. Like who's
Oh yeah.
who's paying to fund these films? Who's paying the actors? I mean, I saw a film called Ouija Shark.
That
So it's
sounds
like
familiar. I
it's
never
a
saw it, but I've
shark.
heard of
It's like a
it.
Ouija boards with a shark, and it's just one of the worst films I've ever seen. And
Like it sounds.
these people gave up their time to be paid, I'm assuming. So
Oh yeah.
somebody gave up their time to make the film. I'm like thinking,
Like who?
who's bankrolling this shit?
It's puzzling, man. Like especially with I say the same thing with just like little scenes in a movie or just like obvious like continuity or like obvious things that like no one on the film set like said like to the script writer or director and like, well, this doesn't make sense because they just like did this. Like no one brings up certain things that are glaringly obvious. And it makes me think like nobody, do they not care? They're just trying to get the movie made like as quickly as possible and make money back and that's it. I don't know, but there's a lot of things like that. How did this get past everybody who worked on the film?
Lorne says tax credits, international pre-sales.
Yeah, there you go.
Just puts many independent productions into the green before they've even made.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, I was wondering like how is this Big TC, let's be honest at this point, what hasn't been turned into a horror movie?
It's pretty
very little.
spot on.
Very little. Very little. Have you seen the trailer for the new? It's called Violet Night with David Harbour from Stranger Things.
No, well, I don't watch trailers, but maybe in the chat if anyone watched it.
But Hopper,
oh, I know Hopper.
Yeah. He's in a new movie called Violet Night.
Okay.
Which, if nobody's come up with that title ever, how is that even possible? Like, how is nobody? I mean, maybe it has been done before, but that just seems like an obvious title for a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Like a Christmas themed horror.
Yeah, it's
like Better Watch Out that we got out a few years ago.
If nobody has ever come up with that title before, how is that even possible? Because that's such. But at the same time, like when I saw the title, it's like I'd never even thought of that as a title for a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Like, how have I not even thought? Violet Night is such an obvious title for a Christmas film.
And that's, I guess, how they do get those titles snuck in, and just the thing you wouldn't think about, and then you hear and you're like, I should have thought of that. Like it just sounds like it makes perfect sense. Me movies is the new term. Mostly are pretty wretched. The best thing about them is often the title and poster art. Can't really complain with that. It's true for the most part.
So let me put out to you, GT, and the chat. Obviously Friday, Halloween ends. Who's watching it on cinema? Who is streaming it?
I will be streaming.
I've yet to make a decision.
Yeah.
Like literally, it's going to be a last minute thing. And literally, I'm working Friday. It's going to be a case of how tired am I? If I go to cinema, am I in danger of falling asleep if it's a bad film? And shall I just stream it? I'm doing a live stream. So if you're watching it Friday, So I'm going to be live streaming Friday night breakdown of the film.
Does it go on? Does it release midnight on the 14th
No, I
on
think
Peacock
it's
or a
no,
little
no, no.
later?
It's gonna be. It's gonna. I'm gonna be live streaming midnight on the 15th. So
Okay.
it's gonna be like 7 p.m. Eastern. So
Okay.
I will have seen the film. It's not
Yeah,
gonna be
it
this
should
setup.
drop by
It's
then.
gonna be on a. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be back on my shitty laptop downstairs. So
Oh,
unfortunately,
I'm on my shitty laptop, so
yeah. So
we're good.
unfortunately, yeah. So, but I am gonna be live streaming. So if you've seen the film, then I will put a link in the chat to jump on
Yeah,
because
sure, definitely.
I did do like a live stream after Kills where I just
Yeah.
basically talk for like an hour. But obviously, if anybody else has seen the film, feel free. I'll put the link out and people can jump on and we can
Yeah.
talk about it. But yeah,
But this might be the last Halloween that we can talk about for a while. We don't know when.
yeah, maybe for about 2 years, and then they
Yeah, I
come
know.
out.
Announce something else.
Big T's watching it on Peacock.
Cool.
I mean, I think it's going to fall into three groups. This film, you're going to get your hardcore who are going to go to see it on the cinema, no matter what. Then there's going to be you kind of like the people who, because I'm like I consider myself a hardcore Halloween fan, but whether I'm going to get the opportunity to go and watch it on the cinema, watching it day 2, day 3, day 4 is not an option for me. If I can't get to the cinema day 1, I'm just going to stream it because I don't want to be getting into day 2, day 3, day 4, and then potentially getting it spoiled.
Yeah, potentially hearing
so it's
something.
basic. So it's like if I don't see it in cinemas, it's not the fact that I don't want to give the cinema money.
Yeah, you just don't want to get spoiled. Mostly,
I don't want to get spoiled, so I need to see it streaming that day.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you're gonna get your hardcore who are gonna go to cinema regardless. You're gonna get your hardcore
every time you got those. And good for them. I mean, I'm happy for everyone who loved the first 2 movies in this trilogy, and now this is the last one in the trilogy, and people are psyched for it. Like I'm more than happy for them. Like I hope they get a great movie. My expectations are not that high, especially after Kills and 2018. I don't really care much for both of them. But they're not bad films in any way. They're not terrible movies or anything. They're watchable, absolutely. But maybe they'll do something, I don't know, surprising in this last one that hooks me in a little more than the last 2. But I'm more than happy for the people that are really psyched for this movie, and the other 2 worked. Because, I mean, like I said, how often do you get to see, well, besides the obvious joke of, like, in a few years we'll have another one, Halloween Ends is the name of the movie. I mean, and just to see any Halloween movie release and see it in theaters, it's an experience to do that, especially on the first day, like you're saying. Like you try to get there on the opening night and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think I brought this up last year after and a kill, sorry. And I've asked this question numerous times, I think, to the chat, and I think I've asked it to Lord and Dan, and I'll ask it again. And I always forget the answer because I think they always come up with the answer and I always forget. But 2018 it did well, it made money. And obviously Kills went to streaming the same day as cinema release. But I kind of put that down to maybe COVID as well.
Oh,
because 12 months, 12 months ago, we were out of it, but it was still a thing, but we're completely out of COVID now. There's no restrictions or anything. So the decision to put it to stream in the same day, because you put it to stream in the same day, it's going to instantly go to pirate.
Oh, yeah, torrent sites and everything right away.
So torrent sites will have it immediately.
So it's taking a chance doing that.
There's going to be a lot of people who are just like normies who are not massive fans of the franchise.
Yeah,
they're just going to torrent it because it's a new movie and they want to see it.
Yeah, so, and they're not huge fans. They're not going to spend $20-something for a movie ticket plus whatever snacks they want for a movie they don't care about, really. So of course they're going to do that.
So it is kind of interesting to see, how it's going to, in terms of box office. I don't really know how it's going to play out because I don't really understand the logic in and released it on Peacock. Peacock in the UK.
I know of all of them.
Nobody fucking knows what Peacock is.
I never use Peacock.
I don't even. I'm not even entirely sure how you even find Peacock in the UK. I don't even know whether we can get it.
It might not be an app. It might just be the website. Maybe you're gonna
Yeah.
use. But Tubi, you don't get at all, right? Even if you go to
No, we don't
Tubi.com,
get. No, we don't get Tubi. And Tubi's
That
meant to be
sucks.
really good as well.
Oh, it's great. Like there's so
Yeah.
many movies on there, but
Yeah, we don't get it.
you might be able to use like a VPN to change your IP address. Just connect to it
Yeah.
from through the States.
Yeah, probably.
I used to do that to change Netflix, like to watch UK Netflix or other countries' Netflixes if they didn't have stuff on American Netflix.
Yeah.
So you might be able to do that for Tubi.
Yeah, I mean, I occasionally use Plex, which is like similar to Tubi. You get adverts. It's 99% shit.
Yeah,
But you get like that 1% is like it's pretty good.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got like House of the Devil. Which is
Ty West, right?
Yeah. They have like House of the Devil. Like they had what's that movie where the model goes to LA and she like sacrifices her soul, and there's a couple of really gruesome kills. She pounds some fella's head in with a dumbbell. Oh, what movie is that? It's about 3 years ago.
Familiar.
Someone in the chat will get it. Yeah, it's
Is it a
like
slasher movie or is it what?
Not really. It's like it's that like LA kind of, girl goes starry eyes.
Oh, Starry Eyes.
Yeah.
When she wants to become famous and show business.
Yeah. Lauren got it. Yeah.
That's a great movie.
It is. It's a good film, and that kill towards the end is fucking gruesome, man.
Oh yeah, there's some disturbing stuff in that movie. Just the makeup on her and stuff. Like later on. So I remember watching it the first time. I was very surprised actually by it because I wasn't hearing anything about that movie when it first came out.
Anthony says Michael Dougherty claiming Trick or Treat 2 is in active development with Legendary. Heard that before. I've heard
that the other day.
I mean, Trick or Treat. We're going back 15 years now. It's the more and more we move away from that film, it's like the less likely it seems we're going to get any sort of sequel or whatever they want to do with that film, that franchise. But I think I've said this in a live stream before. I love Trick or Treat, and it's kind of one of the reasons I love it so much is because it's just like a one-off film. It's like they've not taken it and like gone with sequels or prequels or tried to explain anything. It's just one film.
And they absolutely could have with Sam with that character.
They
could have milked that into a franchise.
Yeah, you've kind of got like an iconic looking character there, and like we're saying again in another previous live stream, and I forgot to mention Sam, in terms of 21st century, horror icons. Who have we got now? Because I was making a case for Art the Clown, obviously, being like an iconic new sort of like icon for the 21st century. And I mentioned, obviously, I think I mentioned freaking Saw, obviously.
Jigsaw.
But Jigsaw's not really. It's not him personally.
I don't consider him a slasher.
But it's the tricycle with the little.
Yeah, Billy. That's iconic.
You know what I mean? That's the iconic character, not Jigsaw himself.
Oh yeah. They even you saw Hereditary, obviously, right?
Yeah.
There's a little Easter egg to James Wan on the chalkboard in Peter's classroom and stuff that Billy the Puppet's written on there, drawn on there.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, it's right in the background. It's right behind the teacher, but it's a cool little Easter egg that he threw in there.
Dan says it's sadly been in development for years, but that movie has grown a massive following, so I think it will happen eventually. Big T says, has anyone seen the trailer for Megan? I saw it a while ago and I've completely forgotten what it was about. But
I just heard the movie.
Is it a doll movie? It's something. I watched the trailer. I think there's been a new trailer dropping in the last 24 hours, but I think there was a pre-trailer, whatever, a few months ago, and I remember watching it, but I've totally forgotten what Megan is about. Big T, just let us know in the comments because I've totally forgotten what it was about. Going back to Terrifier, sorry, just briefly.
Did you see 2 yet or no?
No, it's you
I
can't
mean,
get it in the UK.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I'm gonna have to wait for streaming.
Yeah.
But
I didn't get to see it yet either yet.
It's the box office being promising.
Oh yeah.
Was talking about the other day. Needing like a new. Like I've said it before. He's too extreme for the mainstream. Art the Clown, but
Oh yeah.
it's
No,
the fact that it's a good that it's made money. It's made. I think it made $1.5 million opening weekend.
so yeah, I saw an article the other
For
day.
I mean, at the budget was like half. Was it the budget like $500,000? Something ridiculously
It's
low.
got to be something like that. It can't be.
Yeah,
I can't see it being more than that.
and Art the Clown is like that is like I've said it before twice now and in 2 previous streams. You've got a killer there, an iconic looking killer, but they've made him so extreme that it's almost a shame in a way, because you could maybe revert back to a new movie where he's not quite as sadistic and like create a new, maybe slightly
That's right.
more
We
family
were
friendly.
talking about that on the stream.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
is that what we were
Yeah,
talking
that
about
was you
last
and me, I
time? Yeah.
think. Yeah. Which I
Yeah.
agree. I see exactly where you're coming from because I'm split on it because it can go either way for me because I love slashers and stuff. My favorite type of horror. I love practical effects and gore. There's nothing really too over the top for me, and Terrifier just worked for me 100%. So as long as the story for this second one, like whatever story there is, like because the first one didn't have much, I heard this one's a lot better in that aspect. If it's good in every way, pretty much like the first one, and just ups everything up, I'm fine with it. But back to what you said, I definitely see what you're saying because we need a new horror slasher icon that could be seen by a lot more people
Yeah.
who could stomach like what I mean, like that.
Yeah.
That's not as insane gore and kills and stuff, like something more of a like Michael Myers, a Halloween movie level of gore, or a Texas Chainsaw 2022. I didn't even see that movie, but like that type of vein of like slasher movies, horror movies and stuff, that it could reach a wider audience, like horror audience, but doesn't have to get into that extreme kills.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, yeah, art does go into the extreme in terms of it's like
Absolutely.
I was trying to find out because I've not seen the film yet, but everybody was saying about like the bedroom scene, like is like the worst kill. I was trying to find out what happens. So I went
in
on
the sequel and the new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went on IMDb, because IMDb gives a breakdown of like the gore and like what happens, and so it gives a description of what the kills are.
Yeah.
So literally,
don't they do that for like rating purposes, like for people?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it goes into extreme detail about like the kill. And I'm like, yeah, I can see why that like really freaked people out. It's almost like I was almost disturbed just reading it.
Yeah,
let alone watching it. Fucking hell, man! It's just like this is insane.
Well, a few people I talked to said that it tops everything in the first film.
Yeah,
and I mean that one kill in the first film is like
the
crazy gnarly with the upside down one, the bone tomahawk type kill with a lot. It gets compared to a lot, but didn't they come out the same year? Bone Tomahawk or maybe Bone Tomahawk.
Terrifier was 2016.
Tomahawk came out before. They were close.
I think Tomahawk was 2014, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, something like that. A year or two was. So I don't know if Terrifier stole that from the movie or was an homage, or it could have been coincidence, complete coincidence. Like I don't know the story behind that if there is one.
Hey Chas, what's up? Let's see where we're up to now. So the trailer for Megan, it's a robotic doll horror mystery. So is that kind of like along the lines of Puppet Master? Is it kind of like a Puppet Master type movie? Robotic doll?
Are they robotic? I was never a big Puppet Master.
No,
like the third movie or so.
Just in terms of the way the way Big T's describing this film, like, you know, Puppet Master's kind of.
It seems like that type of tone, I guess. Seems like.
I mean, I've not watched the Puppet Master film since the early 90s. I've seen I think I've seen the first 3 movies, and
Yeah.
the remake, the one where it comes out of the woman's stomach when she's pregnant, which was
I
just
don't think
nuts.
I even saw that.
Oh, that was a crazy one. I think that was like
What was that, like part 17 or something like that? I
yeah,
didn't get
I
that
think
far.
it was like a reboot. I think from a few years
Oh, I
ago.
know. I remember them saying they like rebooted or soft reboot, whatever it is. There's so many terms nowadays for a remake, a reboot, a soft reboot, a reimagining.
Yeah.
But it was one of those, I guess.
Anthony says Mr. Harrigan's Phone getting mixed reviews. I don't even know what that is.
I heard of it. I heard the
that-
same thing actually from like 2 people liked it
It's a
and
horror movie, is
another
it?
person. I'm pretty sure it's like I don't know how like what type of subgenre it is, but like I don't know anything about them, and you know I don't watch trailers or anything like that
Yeah.
either for spoilers. But so honestly, I don't even know. I just heard from 3 people. 1 said he didn't care for it. 2 said that they liked it, and that's all I know really. So it's worth it, I guess, if it's out there. You know, try it out.
So it's a Stephen King adaptation, by the sounds of it.
Okay.
Yeah, but Stephen King's like this sort of like go-to guy at the minute. He's like everything related to Stephen King is just getting remade, rebooted. You know.
Ever since I feel like since they redid
Yeah.
that, it opened the
I mean-
floodgates now for other books by adaptations.
I mean, I loved it. Chapter 1, Chapter 2. I thought wasn't really my thing. I thought Chapter 2 was like really disappointing.
See, I hear that a lot. Like that's a common complaint with Chapter 2, but I didn't really mind it. Like I didn't expect anything really more than what it was, if that makes sense.
I think one of the reasons as well I love Chapter 1 so much as
It's the
opposed to
chemistry
Chapter 2.
between the girls, the kids, probably, right?
Yeah, well, it's not just that. It's more, especially is the film, because obviously the original it's set in the
50s.
When the kids it's 58, and
Yeah.
when the adults it's 85,
Mhm.
which is obviously it's difficult to me to relate to that time period. But in the remake, they're 13 in 89, and I was 13 in 89.
Mhm.
So they're my age basically. You know, they're exactly my age because that summer.
Yeah.
If it's like they're 13 years old and JT's disappeared. His internet has dropped out. Maybe his laptop's become unplugged. Let's see. Big T says I could have sworn Megan was supposed to come out this year unless it got pushed back to next year. The trailer for Megan dropped. Well, the one I saw was like about 4 months ago. So I don't know what's going on, but you know, with trailers, you know, they do tend to sort of drop teaser trailers a long time before the film gets released. So I've no idea. I completely forgot about that film. I mean, I was driving to work the other day, and there was a trailer on the side of a bus for a horror movie, and I've not heard anything about it. No idea. I can't even. I think it's got some like weird haunted nun on the poster, a bit like the Nun movie. So if Big Anthony might have seen it because obviously he's in the UK. Oh shit! Look at my son. I see. Chris, you want to jump on, man? The links, you know, I'll put the link out again. I don't know if you're working or not. I did put the link out earlier on. I'll put it out again if you want to jump on. Yeah, look at this, man. I've upgraded. Well, I've upgraded for like a few times of the week, and then it'll be back to like shitty laptop again. Yeah, there's a Anthony, if you're in the chat still, if you've seen there's some new horror movie getting released in the UK, and there's like some sort of killer nun or something on the side of a bus that I've seen like driving around, and it's for a movie I've never heard of. Oh, you're at work, smoke break. Okay, man. Yeah, you do that job in the oh, you lucky son of a bitch doing your Halloween job. You lucky bastard. I wish I was doing that. Good to see you, man. It's been a while. Once Halloween's over, man, let's get these live streams going again. Laptop died. Okay, JT. JT is just in the process of plugging his laptop back in. Yeah, going back to Hellraiser. I mean, I really enjoyed it, but like I say, touching on what I said last night, it's like it's kind of hard to get on board with like likable characters in modern movies for me. I just kind of don't really care who survives and who doesn't. I had like zero investment in any of these characters, especially the main lead. She was such like she was just, I didn't like her. She came across as a bit of a selfish bitch. She kind of looked like she reminded me of like a young Sarah Connor from Terminator, like Linda Hamilton, but it looked with the curly perm. And she actually looked a little bit like John Connor as well. So she's kind of like an amalgamation of John Connor, which I thought was interesting. Okay.
Play
JT's back.
the Doesn't
He's
she
back.
play the main character? Yeah, sorry guys. I don't know why for some reason, like last time I almost made it to the charger at the end of the stream and it died. This time I was in the room with the charger, and for some reason I just thought if you're by a charging wire that it'll do its job. I forgot to fucking plug it in.
Well, it was actually like the last stream we did. I was
perfect timing then.
I was wrapping things up. I was like, you know what, JT's gone. But
yeah,
you know
it was
what?
perfect timing.
I was like, I'm ready for bed anyway, so it's like I'm going to sleep. So it's like it didn't really matter. But
I think it's cool though how like we've been with like you, Al, Garrett and stuff, like just working. It's like now we're working like two different time zones, you know, because if like us in the States want to do something, we want you guys to be up and around and stuff to like join in and stuff, and vice versa and stuff. So it's cool how it works out.
Literally, if I was to do a live stream at like it's like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. your time. If I was to do a live stream 7 p.m., 8 p.m. like my time, there'd be nobody watching probably, because most of the people who watch my live streams like are in the States, because that's how I became friends with people in the States through Piz's stream and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and that's one of the reasons why I stream so late, is because I know that if I stream late, more people will jump on. Plus, I like streaming midnight. It's everyone's in bed.
That's what
it's quiet. It's not like nobody's knocking on the door or the phone's not ringing.
It's like your me time that you get to enjoy for a bit and relax and just I know. I'm the same way with nighttime.
Wednesday's my day off from work, so it's like I don't have to get up early, so I can just like chill out. I think a lot of guys,
Monday and Tuesday are my chill days.
Yeah,
and off days.
A lot of the guys who like follow on YouTube, in our little sort of sphere, they stream like they stream like 12, 1 in the morning. So when I'm going to work, they're still doing their stream. So I'm like just in the chat, and they're like, "Oh, jump on." I'm like, I can't jump on. I'm about to go to work, but I'll try and but yeah. So it's I love it, man. I love it.
Just that's what we've talked about this before, of just why we started these channels and doing this and stuff. It's just to add a pure love and passion for movies and for film, and to meet other people like-minded of those same passions who love film and horror movies specifically, that same amount, that you can have these discussions with and meet these great awesome people, which there's so many out there, and this is just probably a fraction of the people that you can meet doing this, but it's definitely fun. Absolutely having a blast doing this.
Like I say, it's a lot of it came from COVID as well. Because like before COVID, like I was kind of like subscribed to like a few horror channels. Like I was subscribed to Piz and a few others, but I didn't really understand. I didn't know Patreon was a thing, so I just used to watch videos, and then people didn't really used to live stream that much before the whole Patreon thing took off. Certainly the people I used to watch, because I was watching Piz a lot, and he didn't really do live streams. And then I think he got on board with Patreon, and he started doing live streams, and he was doing his Patreon live streams.
Yeah.
So he was getting like subscribers who obviously were his Patreons on to do live streams with him. And I'd been a big fan of Piz for like, 10 years. So I was like, oh, fucking hell. I get, for like £5 a month, I can like just jump on and do a live stream. And like,
that's a cool
I
perk.
don't know I don't know what I'm going to do, because I don't know what's going to happen. It was literally second week into COVID, into lockdown, I should say, where the whole of Britain was just locked down.
And everyone was at top peak freaking out. Not everyone knew what was going on. It was a confusing time. Yeah.
And I jumped on the first Patreon stream for me anyway. I think he'd done a few before that, but I jumped on. I just literally stood in the kitchen with my cell phone, smartphone, as we say, just holding it to my face, talking into a smartphone, just like having a conversation. I was like, fucking hell, this is amazing. I'm talking to like Piz and Lorne and like a few other guys, and I'm like, this is because I've been watching these guys for like about 5 years. Well, Piz probably like 10 years. Just going from the Patreon streams to just becoming more involved in like a lot of the other guys, Jay Distinguay, Corey from Smalls and Doors, people like that. They started doing like a lot of live streams like late at night, early morning for me. I was catching their live streams, and they were like kind of like slightly more chaotic live streams where anything goes. And I was kind of like getting on board with that, and I was like, you know what, I could do this myself. I just like
good.
And like literally, I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna fucking do it. I just thought, get a webcam, just think of something to talk about, bring someone on board, do a live stream, see how it goes. And like, I think the first live stream, one person watched, but it got good playback. I think the first live stream ended up getting like 300 because it had Friday the 13th in the title.
Okay.
So even though nobody watched, or one person watched it live, it kind of gained traction from that. And then
that's what happened with my Freddy vs. Jason and the whole Friday series, just for having that in the name, because it's such a popular franchise.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing what like certain like buzzwords can do for a video. Sorry, Lorne just wants to know if my dog is alive. Yeah, she's alive, Lorne. She's just
good
sleeping.
news.
She's just sleeping. She's lazy. But yeah, I mean,
it was true what you're saying too, because there's a few YouTube channels, horror channels that I followed for years and stuff, didn't really live stream either much. Like it definitely came a lot more popular in the last, I don't even want to guess how many years, but last several years, like at the least. But like, have you ever checked out Jason at Sinister Cinema Reviews?
Yeah, I've been subscribed to him for a few years.
Yeah, he's been my favorite YouTuber forever. You can say whatever you want.
No, I would have said, I think when I found your channel, because you remind me of him in terms of like he's kind of become like, he's done really well with zero sort of like editing. He just presses play. There's no intros. He just talks, and he uploads like I said to you in the DMs.
A ton.
Yeah. He was super consistent with his uploads. He just uploaded constantly every day, and he just gained. It does gain. He gained a lot of traction, because when you're constantly uploading every single day, you're doing that, YouTube loves that, and YouTube will start recommending, channels in your feed if that's what they're doing.
That's what we were talking about earlier today.
Yeah.
How there's a way to figure that out,
Yeah. Jason. I mean, I think I subscribed to him when he was at like 600-700 subscribers, and he's like 16,000 now.
He just said 15 a few weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah,
which he's way too low. He deserves so much more subscribers, in my opinion. But he's happy where he is. Like some people just like being where they are, and they don't want to be crazy like huge channels and stuff, which is fine. Whatever that person wants to do, whatever makes them happy, and makes their followers happy.
I mean, I kind of like jumped on. I don't know if you're subscribed to Cody and their Drum Dums.
Yeah, Drum Dums with Cody
like
Leacher.
Cody Leach, yeah.
Yeah,
because they kind of came along at the same time around, and I kind of jumped onto their channels like around about 2,000 subs, and they just like took off. They had their little. They don't talk to each other anymore.
No, they don't.
Still don't know what went down. I'd love to know. I've asked.
Yeah.
Dan is meant to tell me. Dan's meant to have emailed me what
Something
went down.
happened.
I want to know what happened because Cody put something out on Twitter a couple of years ago, and he was not happy with Drum Dums, and I don't know what went down there, but something went down big time.
Oh, it definitely did, because
people were either Team Cody.
People weren't talking about it after a while after it happened, so something happened. But I don't think many people do know exactly what happened.
I'm kind of veering towards Cody. He seems like a more genuine, straight up guy to me.
No, I know what you mean. 100%.
One of the guys who I kind of followed via Drum Dums and Cody was is a Scottish guy called Wolfman's Got Nards.
That sounds familiar to me.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever.
He's kind of like he kind of came along just after Cody, and I'm not saying after, but along the same time as Cody and Lee from Drum Dums, and he's on like 30,000 subs now. But he's a Scottish YouTuber, and he did a live stream recently with talking about Halloween with a Critical Drinker,
Oh yeah,
he's got like 2 million subs. So he did Wolfman's Got Nards. Literally a couple of years ago had like 2,000 subs. He's like now in a position where he invited Drinker on, and Drinker is like enormous. He's like I love Drinker. I think he's fucking brilliant, man.
I've heard that name talked about a lot. I gotta check. There's so many channels to check out, and I always forget. I hear one and then I forget about it, and then I remember it later. I say, "Damn it, that's right. I gotta check." So now I'm just adding them to my channel, like channels to check out and stuff. So any new channels I hear of, I check out. I just throw it on there. So the list. Check these people out too. That way I don't forget to like look at some of them, check their content out, because there's so much great stuff out there.
Big Crocker says you pick up a bunch of subs, you pretend like you're the keyboard player from U2.
I don't know. I didn't fully get that either.
Okay, Big Crocker. That's gone over my head.
Me too. Unless I got my keyboard propped up and it's like playing keyboards. I have no idea what that meant though.
Is he related to the fact that I've got a piano behind me?
That could be, man.
Maybe that's.
I didn't even notice that till just now, actually.
Yeah. I think, because I've got this I've got like a digital piano behind me. I think that's what it's. I think that's what Big Cracker's referring to.
That makes sense then.
So maybe I need to turn around and start playing that.
Are you good at all playing piano?
No, that's not mine. It's my son's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't.
I play a little piano, but not. I could never get the separating your two hands, playing one completely different thing than the other hand. That I can never get that for some reason.
I did like your cover versions of the Beatles songs.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I used to know every Beatles song from at least from Help all the way through the last album to Let It Be.
It's funny because I've mentioned this before, not to you. I don't think I've mentioned it. Maybe I mentioned it to you, but it's kind of like I'm not like the biggest Beatles fan, which it probably sounds strange because I grew up.
Said that before, yeah.
I live like
living where you are. I know.
Yeah,
right?
But it's kind of like if you live so close to somewhere that's like so special. Iconic, it's not really special anymore.
Yeah.
So it's actually like like Penny Lane. There's a pub on Penny Lane called oh my god, the name escapes me. Why does the name escape me? Whatever. There's a pub on Penny Lane. So quite often, you know, the bus will come along and it'll just be like tourists and you know, people come and taking pictures and whatnot, and you know, you'll see these people like taking and you think you understand why they're there taking photos, but
Oh yeah.
you're kind of like, well,
But since you're from there, and I know, and you're right
it's just
by
like
it,
it's
you're like,
every
well,
day. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
that it's right there, you know, it's around the block.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you become desensitized to where you are, you know, because it's so common
It's
from
like,
living
I
there.
suppose, like if you lived in like New York, like Manhattan, and it's just like
Yeah,
every single like street corner is like something famous happened there. You
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
you walk past it every day. It's like, well, yeah. It's like if I
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
see,
Basically, that's basically how it is. Because I don't live in
yeah.
Manhattan, but I live on Long Island. But I've been to Manhattan more times than I can count. Same thing. You see all the tourists and stuff.
Oh,
Like,
right, you live
oh,
in Long
this.
Island.
Yeah, Long
I
Island. Yeah,
I didn't know. I knew because I've heard you talk about like upstate New York. I wasn't sure.
yeah. It's my
I knew you were
family
in
has
that
a
like
house up there.
north in that like area.
Yeah,
Oh, Long Island, man. Yeah,
yeah. I
that's
live in
pretty
Long
cool. That's
Island.
pretty cool, that man.
Yeah, it's expensive as shit, man. It's
Yeah,
not gonna. I would. I have no reason to really be here. The only reason I'm still on Long Island is because my daughter lives upstate, and it works out exactly good where my family has a house up there, a half hour from where my daughter and her mom lives. It's the only reason that's been keeping me on Long Island because it's insane here.
yeah.
Yeah,
I suppose it's a bit.
it's
It's
crazy everywhere.
yeah. I mean, I love Everybody Loves Raymond because I know that's
I
set on
never
Long
got
Island.
into it. It's a funny show. I just never got into it. I was more of a Seinfeld guy growing
Yeah,
up. Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm, stuff like that. Great show. That
yeah.
was funny.
No, I love Everybody Loves Raymond.
What about Arrested
Um,
Development? You ever get into Arrested Development?
never really got into that. I
That's
kind of
a great show.
the reason Everybody Loves Raymond was kind of like popular for like a lot of people in the UK is it was always on.
It's
It's
syndication. Yeah.
Everybody Loves Raymond and Frasier have been on
Yeah.
this have been on the same time every morning for 20 years,
Yeah.
literally on
Yeah.
the same TV channel. 8:30 in the morning, 9 o'clock in
Yeah.
the morning. Frasier or Everybody Loves Raymond, then Frasier, and they just repeat them on a loop,
Yep.
20 years, like non-stop.
Yeah. It's crazy how similar that is because it's the same with Seinfeld and what the hell's the other show? Another sitcom like Friends, Seinfeld and Friends. It'll be Seinfeld and
Yeah,
Friends every weeknight or so at the same exact time for like the last 15 years, whenever Seinfeld ended, basically, and Friends ended, which is
yeah.
around 20 years ago, something. But they make so much money off the syndication, like it's crazy. Like if
It's
they
like
have a good deal like Seinfeld.
well, it's like The Simpsons. I mean, The
Oh yeah,
Simpsons. That's been shown. My God.
oh
I
yeah,
mean,
that
The
show's been put through
Simpsons.
the
Like
ringer.
they just need to end that show.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
it's like. I mean,
It ended like at like season 10, 11 or so was like when it started going downhill. And I'm not saying cut the cord as soon as there's a little bit of quality drop, but at this point, it's like
I think it's just.
I don't know anyone really who loves the new Simpson seasons, like season after season.
I think it's crazy. Like
I'm sure they
like
exist.
literally, there's. I when I was a kid, like literally like 11, 12, I had a Simpsons T-shirt.
Mhm.
Like with Bart on. It's like it's still going. I'm
I know, right?
46 and it's still on. It's
Yeah,
like, really? I just cannot get my head
it's
around the fact that
amazing how some of these things just they can't die. Like they're so popular and such a big hit on popular culture and everything that they're just ingrained into society. That anytime there's even if they go off the air or a show like that's that famous, there's always going to be people looking for a way to bring it back somehow.
yeah,
And it's just
I
going to be
just
like that always because if it's the way that it is, the type of show it is, or same with music and anything that's great like that, they're always going to try to make as much money as possible off of it. Which sucks because it should come first and foremost that you know the reason people play music, the reason people act and work in film and write and stuff like this because it's of just enjoying it. But you can see a
I
lot
don't
of
really
franchises.
I don't understand how obviously the Simpsons franchise is still making money, but I just don't know how you can go in year after year, day after day, and just
which
churn
is
out the utter shit.
just
They
crap
do.
scripts and nothing, no jokes like that are funny or anything for just years and years, like you said. Now, I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, basically.
you know what though? The Simpsons movie from like 2008, I think it was. That was
Yeah.
really good. I thought that was really good.
I liked
They
it. That and
brought
then
back they brought back some of the old script writers, and it just showed you bring back quality script writers. It doesn't matter how long it's been
Yep.
bad for. That was a good movie, and I'm amazed they never like went with a sequel because
yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was the only Simpson movie standalone. You wouldn't have thought that, like not having a sequel to a Simpson movie.
Big T says the Simpsons will outlive us all, and once Disney officially owns everything and that contract with Universal, yeah, well, Disney will end up owning everything, I suppose.
I guess. I mean, they definitely can. They're taking over everything.
And he says, can't escape the Big Bang Theory on a constant loop all day. Yeah, I mean,
never cared for that show.
Yeah, I like the first couple of seasons, but it was another one. Like I've said this about American shows. You know, I'm not trying to bash on American shows compared to
no, it's different.
They not. I'm not even talking about the humor really. I'm talking about the they tend to sort of like maybe drag a show on for too long. Okay. Whereas a British shows kind of keep it short and simple. They'll do like a couple of seasons, 6 episodes a season, and leave it at that.
And then nowhere
American shows, we've got Piz in the chat. What's up, Piz?
Hey, Piz.
All good, man. Yeah, just talking about how
that makes sense.
How bad The Simpsons has gone, Piz. Yeah, I mean, case in point, you know, you look at like The Office.
I was just thinking that when you were talking about
the Ricky Gervais's Office. It's two seasons, 12 episodes. I'm not saying that the American Office wasn't good, but it went on too long, too many episodes.
Oh yeah, no, it did.
You know,
they were losing ideas near the end, and they kept switching the manager around after Michael left, and it went on some weird tangents near the end because they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, but, I mean.
Same with what's the other show? British show. Oh, come on! There's 4 kids, like high school kids.
Oh, Inbetweeners.
Inbetweener. That's a great show.
The Inbetweeners is fantastic.
I love that show, and that's another example of a show that
the American remake was terrible.
I saw that after the original, and so I said, "Wow, this is terrible." How they turned a great show like that and Americanized it, and just shows how the worst examples of Americanizing anything. Because that movie just did not work at all, and it was amazing. It was the same material, like kind of like a same type of idea and show that the original was, and just failed on every level possible almost.
The problem with the American remake, it's although American it's when it comes to violence, Americans seem to be perfectly okay with like very, very violent stuff, and it seems to be okay to show it. They seem to be a bit more prudish when it comes to like bad language and like sexually something like it's too sexual. Because the American remake, they kind of had to tone it down. Like the British version was just like F-bombs constantly.
It went all out.
You know,
which wasn't even that offensive, really.
No,
I mean, it depends on who you are and what offends you, I guess, obviously.
But the American version seemed to be allowed like one F word an episode, and it's just I remember like there's certain episode with where they go to an amusement park in the British version, and then they got like these disabled kids at the end, and they're like they've trashed the car. And on the way out, they're just like sticking, giving the finger and doing all that. And in the American version, they just wave. It's like they can't even give them the finger.
I can't even remember the American version.
Fucking hell, man! It's just like Piz says, I've not watched Simpsons in years. It's long past its heyday. The first 6 seasons of
about right. Yep.
Season 1 of The Simpsons, I don't think was finding its feet. 2 again was kind of getting into its stride. 3 to 7 or 3 to 6,
great.
You won't find a more perfect run of TV shows of episodes in TV history. 3 to 6 was just perfect. You can't top that. But the problem with The Simpsons was, as time's gone on, they've gone through every possible storyline, every possible sort of scenario.
Yep.
So everything becomes dated. And as time's gone on as well, and technology's moved on, you find yourself in a situation with The Simpsons where they're dealing with scenarios where you're thinking, this feels weird now because they had the same scenario 10 years ago with different
elements.
You know what I
stuff,
mean?
like,
yeah. So
make it a
it's
little
like,
different. But
yeah,
exactly.
it's just as time's moved on, because they've not got any older.
Yeah.
It all just starts to feel a little bit weird.
Oh yeah.
So Bart in season 2, Bart's
like
playing on a Nintendo. And
Yeah,
Gary's got
exactly,
an iPad.
yep.
It's just,
it's
but he's
all
still
over the
Bart.
place like that. Yeah, and he's still the same age for the last 25 something 30 years almost.
Yeah.
How long has it been? 89, right? It started.
Yeah, so
Tracy
Bart
Ullman,
should be now 43.
Yeah.
And he's still 10.
And they even did an episode, I think, that like they aged and they went into the future, or like some type of thing like that. It was after like the peak season, so I don't remember much of it. But
there's one where Lisa goes to. There's one where Lisa marries an Englishman. It's in the future where she's married like an English lord.
Yeah.
That's I think that's the late 90s, maybe. But it's just the Simpsons is just. I mean, I kind of think South Park's going along that road now as well, where it kind of needs to just.
We'll have different opinions with South Park. I mean, like, it went nowhere near as bad of a drop in quality as Simpsons did.
No,
like I honestly,
I would agree. I'd agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah. Like it stayed a lot more consistent. Like, is it as great as like seasons 5 through 10, 11 like that? No, but it's still like never like does wrong by me. So I mean, I watched that show since it first premiered when I was 9 years old. I snuck it because it was like showing commercials and shit. My parents were like, "Oh, this is supposed to be like an adult show. You can't watch it." So of course, as soon as they say, you can't watch something, you're gonna watch it. And since then, I've been watching South Park and been a huge South Park fan for 25 years now and stuff. So I don't know how much of it is nostalgia of just for these characters and that sense of humor and everything, but it just grew with me through my whole life. And I love that show. I adore South Park. So
I love there's an episode, I think I can't remember if it's Kyle's dad or not Cartman or Kenny. It's Kyle and is it Stan?
Yeah, Stan, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them. It's one of their dads. He buys the last Blockbuster.
Oh yeah. The Halloween episode.
Yeah.
That's a great episode.
Actually. I love that episode. I love that. It's just
he's so out of touch. Yeah.
He's just so out of touch with with modern technology that he thinks that it's gonna work, and like
he thinks that Blockbuster is gonna come back and it's gonna blow back up again. Like
there is a Blockbuster. There's a Blockbuster in Oregon, isn't there?
Is there still?
Yeah, there's still a Blockbuster.
Wow. I thought they were all gone at this point.
No, it's a place called Bend in Oregon.
Okay.
I'm getting a slight echo for some reason. I don't know. It's me.
Say something.
Hello. Get a slight echo.
Little bit.
Very, very slight. I don't know where.
Yeah, like hardly.
It's not. It's not relevant. It's not relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a.
So what are you bringing it up for?
There's one remaining Blockbuster in Oregon.
Well, I didn't know that. I would never guess that.
Yeah, but I think because it's the last one.
Maybe it's like
kind of popular, because
why tear down the last one? Like, we'll just give that one a pass and let it stay there.
Of a weekend, people just like turn up en masse and just like rent out movie. I suppose because it is kind of like that nostalgia hit from the 90s.
Oh yeah.
But it's one of them. The Blockbuster is kind of did destroy a lot of like independent video stores, so it's kind of.
Oh yeah, I mean they were having issues even back when when Blockbuster was huge, because they basically monopolized that whole thing, that whole VHS market. With what was the other one? Hollywood Video.
Yeah,
that was the other big one. But like even to this day, there's some people like I never asked Gareth like what he prefers, but I don't want to even assume, but does he prefer watching on VHS or DVD or streaming? Like everyone has their preferred way of watching, films and stuff, whether it be VHS or Blu-ray, DVD, just streaming it. They don't care, or at the theaters. Same with music, vinyl and CD. Just, everyone has their preference. So I wonder actually if Gareth, if he prefers his VHSs. I would assume so with how big his collection is. I can ask him.
His VHS
Imagine
collection is insane.
many, and they're like, "What do you prefer watching?" I like watching on Blu-rays. Oh, I wouldn't have thought that. I gotta ask him that.
Big T says, question, what's your guys' thoughts on Beavis and Butthead, and have you been watching the new season on Paramount Plus?
I've never watched
Beavis and Butthead.
It at all.
Never my thing, really.
I've seen maybe a full episode, like that's it, like a half hour worth of the whole show. It just never did anything for me at all. But one of HeartTuber nominees for November has been reviewing them, the new season, Pragmatic Addict, on his channel. So if you like Beavis and Butthead, check out his channel because he's been doing. I don't even know what they released. Was it a new season or something like that, or they just brought it back for a few episodes, something like that. But he's been going through all of them. So yeah, he's got some nice videos on the Beavis and Butthead reboot or whatever it is that they're doing.
Big crack. When I rewatched The Simpsons, I knew they brought in new races during season 10 before I even looked it up. That's obviously when, because Conan O'Brien used to write for The Simpsons, didn't he? And he left. I mean, he was during the golden age, and I think a few of the other the big writers moved on. I think a lot of them moved on around the similar time.
Others take over, and then just before you know it, there's nobody left from the beginning except for a few key people, and that's it. So you're basic.
Big T says that an awesome documentary called The Last Blockbuster on Netflix. What's it about, Big T? Because I've not heard of that. Big Cracker says, I need weed for Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, that's never been a show for me.
Just trying to see if I've missed any comments.
I just noticed his name is Big Crack Rock. Big Crack Rock saying, I need weed for Beavis and Butthead. That's just funny.
Big Crack Rock's always in the chat.
And it's funny because I see his name and stuff, but I don't know why I read it just Big C, and then I stop if I'm texting with someone in chat, so I don't read the whole name sometimes. I just noticed now it's Big Crack Rock.
You've got to be careful. I remember Piz was doing a live stream.
Yeah.
And someone sent him I think someone maybe sent him a super chat.
Mm.
But the way they worded their YouTube name, it was very it was a slur basically. And he went to read it and went, oh my lord, I can't say it. It's like
good that he caught it, because not everybody
I won't say what it was, but the first word was Ray.
Okay.
How do I do this? Okay, so
he's basically saying it without
his name was his name was Ray. His second name was Ping.
Okay.
And his surname was Blacks.
Okay.
So we put them three words together.
I mean, that wasn't as subtle as I thought it would be. As I was thinking at the beginning.
If you say it quickly, then that's going to be problematic.
Good on him. No, like I said, not a large majority of people would notice something like that. They just let it fly right by.
Oh, so Big T, sorry, it's about Blockbuster. Obviously, it's about the history of Blockbuster and the last Blockbuster in Oregon that you were talking about. Yeah,
I might
because it is still going.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That surprised me. Wow.
I went on Google Maps and zoomed in on Bend, Oregon, and looked for it, and then clicked on it, and then they bring up photos, and it's just it's like people taking photographs and stuff, because it's almost like a. Obviously, people will go there to rent movies out, but I think a lot of people go there, who may be in the area
Just for
to
the
just
memories,
take to
probably.
yeah, just to commemorate and just like take photographs and get selfies.
Oh
But
yeah,
I suppose they've kind of got a side business as well, where they probably are selling other stuff like memorabilia
I feel like they have to.
because
Just
they are the
surviving
last.
on VHS.
Yeah, they're not going
I
to be
don't know.
surviving just on
Yeah, no.
VHS. So they're going
So
to
they
be doing
definitely probably embracing
yeah
that whole thing that they're the last Blockbuster around, and for like you said, memorabilia, whatever they can sell on the side besides renting out VHS, or they
yeah
probably sell them too and stuff, the copies of them. But yeah, that's got to be hard. Just like imagine if it was just a VHS, like Blockbuster just with VHSs, nothing else, like selling VHSs or renting them in today's society. Where like most like younger generations, they just look at a VHS tape and be like, well, I can't fit that into my DVD player, so that doesn't matter to me. Like, it's got to be hard, like just selling VHSs like that.
yeah. Anthony says, remember the guy in the It Crowd, Mike, called Peter File? I didn't really watch the It Crowd. That it's a British comedy, JT.
Oh, okay.
I didn't watch it religiously. I watched the occasional episode. It was what I remember of it was fairly funny, but I don't remember too much about it. To be fair,
Yeah.
we're going back 20 years for that.
It's
yeah,
amazing, though, isn't it? That like some things that you would never think you'd remember, like just pops into your head and stuff.
yeah,
Like when I like certain things that I'll look back on, and then it'll just pop into my head. I'll be like, I can't believe I even remember that. And it's not
yeah,
even like a big significant thing, but it's like brain's much more powerful than we know.
definitely.
Yeah.
Their last blockbuster match is probably what keeps them in business.
Oh yeah, yeah. I survived the last Blockbuster or something like that.
I can
Like
imagine
a roller coaster.
I can imagine being there on a Saturday night though. If I hope it's got that sort of like small town. I think it's kind of like it's not like a big city, so it's kind of like that small town feel. I'd love it to be like that sort of small town, horror movie type feel to it. Like where
Yeah, I know
like
what you mean.
something like from like
When you feel like you're in a horror movie, like
yeah,
yeah.
It's got like the diner or like the milkshake
gas station with
bar,
the
the gas
guy
station,
there or
and
something.
it's got the video store.
Yeah.
That's just like my image of like small town America. I just love to. I've said in the past that I'd love
It's not far off.
I'd love to have grown up in like small town America, like the 1950s or something. Like Derry. Like something from it.
Yeah,
But
I heard
without the killer clown.
Yeah, preferably, right? You don't want
Yeah.
to deal with it. I remember you saying that you would want to maybe live by Camp Crystal Lake too, or close
Oh
by,
yeah.
like, be able to drive over there.
Oh yeah,
Which
that'd be that.
I can't believe I've never visited the campus. So what was the name of the campus filmed at?
No,
The original one?
Nobby
No,
Bosco.
yeah. I can't believe I never checked it out. Like being in Long Island with it and being in Jersey, I mean, it's not too far. I'm surprised I never actually checked that out. The actual original camp, being so close to it.
Yeah, I mean, I just the idea of just going to a summer camp, without a killer, just enjoying,
Yeah. Until
I
you
always
find
think,
out.
imagine some guy just decided just like to do the whole,
Copycat thing.
I know, just like how freaky would that be for the kids if it was literally a guy just in a Jason mask just going around like, massacring people. Oh my god!
Well, at least people who saw the movies though, they got like 12 films of training and stuff.
Well,
to,
yeah,
like, deal with Jason.
they
like, oh
no,
yeah,
they,
episode
yeah.
3.
We know the drill. We know what to do.
Yeah, they're more equipped than those first group of kids from the first few movies.
Big T says the last blockbuster is the perfect location. There's a pizza parlor right next to it. Vintage 90s. Friday night movie and a pizza. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it sounds great actually.
Take you back to the 90s, man. Talking about Hellraiser. Take you back to the 90s when we had like just hot women in movies.
Yeah.
I was watching some of those. Jay does the Stingray does like live watch-alongs for like older movies and some of the old films from the 90s. It's like just 90s movies. Women, the girls in the 90s movies were just way hotter now. Way hotter
Oh
than
yeah.
just
Like
way hotter, man.
you ever watch the full moon pictures? Like the
Oh, yeah.
earlier ones? Like Jacqueline Lavelle, who was in like a
Yeah.
few of those. Like she was gorgeous and stuff. Like a
Yeah.
lot of those direct to VHS movies, and like Full Moon was pretty much a lot of them was direct to VHS. And in those type of vein of movies and stuff, there's just a lot of gorgeous women in those movies. And the same in the 80s.
Yeah.
But then, like, as the decades went on, like, once you, like, 2000s, I don't know, it changes. And I don't know exactly what changes, but they just don't look the same. Like, it's a change in style, obviously, from, like, dressing, the way people dress compared to back in the 80s, 70s, or whatever. But I don't know. You can pick up on it immediately. Same thing. I don't find them as attractive.
Compare. I don't know. Compare any Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie from the past to like
the
latest Chainsaw Massacre film. It's just, you know what I mean. Compare if you look at it, I'm not even talking about like just like the women or something, like, you know, the fellas, you know, the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
I love it.
That was like a catwalk of like attractive people. Jessica Biel
is so distracting in that movie. She is so distracting, and that whole outfit, just with the tight jeans, the white shirt with the knot tucked, tied into it. That knot doesn't come undone once throughout that entire movie. With all the rain and running from him, she's so distracting in that.
The entire cast of the 2003 remake was just ridiculous.
Yeah,
and even going back to even the 74 original, you know, just the women in that film were just like, you know, especially the lead, you know,
just seemed like real genuine people.
Yeah,
and it just has that raw like feel to it, that just like that realistic like feel to it. That first movie, it's always been hard for me to describe the feel that the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre like does for me, or like the emotions it conveys out of me. So I guess like raw is a good way of it. Like it looks like very raw. Like it looks visceral. It looks realistic in like a way it shouldn't. Almost like a dream, kind of.
Isn't the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre film wasn't it actually filmed in Texas as well?
I'm not sure. I want to say yes, but I don't want to.
Don't call me on. Know that the latest film was filmed in like New Zealand. Like I don't know how you I don't know how you're gonna get that like intensity, like the heat, the sweat, the
totally different environments.
New Zealand is not a hot country.
No,
beautiful. Why didn't they just film it in Australia? Because Australia's got the heat. New Zealand,
it's like the complete opposite like place than where they film.
You've seen Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings does not look like it's a place where Lord of the Rings does not double as Texas in any way, shape, or form.
That's funny.
And it's like I think X did a slightly better job, but that was set in like I think it was Romania or somewhere.
Okay.
X was meant to be
You're talking
Texas.
about X that came out this year, right?
Yeah. That's set. It's set in Texas, but they filmed it in I think it was Romania.
Okay.
So obviously not Texas.
Yeah.
It did a slightly better job, but it still didn't feel like.
Well, with things like that, I feel like obviously it's going to be budgetary issues that you can't get around.
Why is it cheaper?
Why make that decision?
But why is it cheaper to go to the other side of the world?
Yeah, I'm sure it's not.
If you're based in the States, why is Texas so expensive to film
compared to going? Yeah, exactly.
Going all the way to New Zealand. I don't understand why.
In Jeepers Creepers Reborn, there's green screen all over that movie. And remember, the guy gets out the car to piss.
Right, like the Lord of the Rings TV show that Amazon are bankrolling.
Made one.
Yeah, so Amazon are bankrolling Lord of the Rings, the TV show, which is costing $1 billion. They're moving their production from New Zealand to Britain to cut costs. Well,
yeah, that would be the
this is Amazon. So why they're moving from New Zealand to Britain to cut costs with their money? Yeah.
They're going.
some small company is moving all the way over to New Zealand to make a movie set in Texas, rather
Yeah.
than just setting it and making it. Couldn't they have
Yeah,
just made it in
something
like?
doesn't add up. Like
Couldn't
something
they have
doesn't.
couldn't they have just made it in like Tennessee or somewhere?
Yeah,
Why
somewhere
did they have to
nearby.
move all the way to New Zealand?
I mean, who knows? I'm sure there might be a reason, but I can't really think of a good one. Like you said, seems like a lot more expensive.
I mean, I really like that Texas Chainsaw movie. The
From
new one.
from this year.
Yeah, I thought it. I mean, okay, lack of attractive women aside, you know,
I don't even.
the only hot woman was killed off in the first 20 minutes. But
I hate when that happens in any movie.
But
hottest
I
girl
actually,
killed.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, you know, I think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, it's for me, it's like Halloween is kind of like it's up here, then it drops.
Yeah, like a
and it really drops.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
With Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I kind of feel it's kind of like just stays on a quite an even keel.
I
don't think there's been any real sort of
like a severe drop in like, oh, what the hell were they thinking? Like,
it's kind of it's gone a bit crazy at times, but it's still produced decent movies. Where
I always liked New Generation or Next Generation growing up. Not so much today, but I used to care for that one too. I mean, the first few movies and then the newer ones.
I really like Part 3. Not really like, I wouldn't say really like, but the Part 3 from like 1990, is it?
Yeah, I think
the one with Viggo. I think Viggo Mortensen's in it. I like
what's
his
name? Oh, why can't I think of his name? Ken Foree.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I like Part 3.
It's a darker tone to it, which I like about that movie. The 3.
Yeah. And I like 3D. I know a lot of people hate on 3D, but I mean, Daddario's in it, and I just want to I'm Alexandra Daddario's fucking hell, man.
Yeah,
I just think she's just like the most
another distracting.
Oh my god! She's in. She's in. Is it? Have you seen We Summon the Darkness?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. No.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's good. It's about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
She's in that. Yeah, man. She's just a babe. You know.
From all the spoilers,
she won't be getting any roles in any modern horror films now.
Yeah,
she's just too attractive.
Yeah. I was like, well, it's funny. Like we said, like wasn't that? No, that wasn't right after the beginning. Was right after the 03 remake, right? Then 3D was after that.
It was you've got 3D, which is 2014. Then you've got Leatherface, which is about 2017, I think.
Yeah, that's going forward. So I'm going then backwards before 3D was the beginning. Then
remake,
right? Okay,
so you've got the remake 2003.
The beginning.
Then you got the beginning was like
2006 or something.
Yeah. Then you got 3D, which was going back to the modern day.
Yeah, wasn't that like a sequel right to the original or something? Yeah.
Then it was Leatherface, which was about 2016 maybe.
I don't even think.
And now you've got it's a bit of a convoluted sort of.
I heard
story. It's all over the place, but I'd say they've always been pretty consistent for me. A lot of people don't like Leatherface. I think I quite like Leatherface. I thought it was a decent movie. You know, I like the twist at the end. I like the twist where, you know, it wasn't Leatherface isn't who you think it is. It's just like, it's the other guy. Yeah, I like that.
It's taking a risk too. I like when franchises take like a little bit of a risk or something different. So not like something drastically insane that like you not like Jeepers Creepers with the whole escape room that you called like 6 months in advance. Like not go that crazy overboard, like in a different direction. But even if you want to change things a little bit, especially if you have like 5, 7, 8 movies like the Friday series did, like back in the 80s, like they tried Jason Goes to Hell. It didn't work that great at all, but at least they tried. Like, I don't know, that means something to me. Like just someone trying a little bit different than let's just have Jason kill a bunch of teenagers again.
Jess is in the chat. What's up?
Hey,
loving the doggy crashed out. Yeah. I think more people are here for the dog than us.
Yeah, all right. The dog's cute. It's cute, that's why. How old's the dog?
She's 11. Yeah.
Oh,
she's getting old now.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's it's a shame. She's a Springer Spaniel, so you know she doesn't.
Yeah.
watching them go from like running around like lunatics to just like sort of not doing
Yeah, just
nearly as
lounging.
much. Yeah. So
Yeah,
sadly, hopefully she's good for another couple of years. But
yeah.
it's the thing about dogs, isn't it? You devote like 15 years of your life, and then it's just
And then you gotta
just
move on.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
hard.
sad, isn't it?
I've never been a dog person. Like I like dogs, but I've never had a pet dog of my own. So I
Yeah.
can't obviously I can't say how it feels to lose a dog or something.
It's pretty depressing, man. It's pretty grim.
I lost
But
a turtle once, but that was nowhere near like too heartbreaking.
How long do they live?
I have no idea. He didn't live long, so I could tell you that. So that
Say,
specific turtle didn't live long.
Because
But
like,
I'm sure they live a while.
if you invest like if you invest in like a tortoise, they live like
Yeah,
like 100
100
years.
or something. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Which is amazing. 100 years.
Jess says, just dropped in to say hi and leave a like. What's the original Nightmare on Elm Street with my son? Oh,
Awesome.
nice one, man.
Great pick.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably your son's first introduction, maybe, to that film. That's you're doing dad duties there. You're doing your daddy duties there.
That's right.
So,
I'll never forget the first time seeing that movie. So he'll never forget either.
We should all be supporting, the older slasher films. Keep them relevant. Because
absolutely.
Like my son, he's not really a massive movie fan, but he's not watched any of the 80s horror films. He's he watched like the newer stuff. But if I try to get him to watch, the original Halloween, he's like, "Oh, this is slow. I don't like this. I just want to see,
I know.
Come on."
It's a common complaint though, in like nowadays generation and stuff. Like, not that obviously it's always going to be mixed in any group, but that long burn, like the slow burn, long tension building horror films from like The Shining, The Omens, all of those from like the 70s, 80s.
Yeah,
it's totally different now. And for the younger generation that just grew up with just, the last few decades, or 2 decades or so of film, it's just not, it's boring to them. And I can see that, but to me, it's crazy. Like, do you
think that's maybe down to social media, but with TikTok and Twitter?
Sure.
It's just like people have attention span now. It's so short. Like people are just like, oh, I want to watch a 30-second video. If it didn't hook me in,
then I'm just swiping. I'm going to the next
one. I'm swiping.
Yeah, they don't give chances or anything. It's just like you said, 5 seconds. All right, no, 5 seconds. With most things, and especially like with film, would be no difference. I mean, look at like music from the 70s, 80s, progressive rock. 20-minute songs and stuff like that. You never hear anyone, younger kids and stuff listening to Yes or Rush or Genesis for the most part. The attention span is not there like how it used to. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Just says, it's his first watch. We've watched Freddy vs. Jason before because it's a little more silly. Big Crackrock says, I had no idea how long lobsters lived. The oldest known lobster was 140
over
years
100,
old.
Right?
Yeah, those crustaceans, they live a long time. Yeah. I think those little like little limpet shell things, which just like cling onto rocks, can live for like 200 years. But nobody eats them.
What do you do after like 150 years?
I don't think they know what they're doing.
They're just like probably crawling back and forth or whatever.
I'm sure. I'm sure there's like a type of octopus.
Yeah.
Maybe not an octopus. It's something like an octopus.
Squid.
Where they basically they can live forever. They just keep on rejuvenating the cells. So if they don't get eaten,
I've heard that. Yeah.
They just live forever.
They naturally,
basically just rejuvenate whatever it is.
Wow.
But they always get apparently they always just get eaten. So they'll never live forever because
the numbers.
Someone's just going to come along to just fucking swallow them up, basically.
Yeah. Just get rid of. Like,
I know some of these
10% of the population of one swipe.
Some of these, there was like some of these like really deep like some of these whales that live like in deep waters, like in the Antarctic.
Oh yeah,
They've
like the whale
they
shark,
yeah, no actual whales. I think it's
the
called
blue whale.
a no, it's
You'll get them.
it's name escapes me, but there's a breed of whale which like lives deep, like way down, and
Mm,
it only comes up like once every like day or so just to get air, because obviously they're not
yeah.
they need to come up for air, but then they go right back down to the bottom again. And I think there was a type of whale where like they pulled a harpoon out of in like last 20 years they
Mm.
found a whale. It had the harpoon stuck into it,
Oh
and the
yeah.
harpoon was like from the 1700s or the
Yeah.
1800s. It was like 250 years old or something.
Yeah.
Because they just their heartbeat is so slow because they just live in such cold waters.
Yeah.
They basically
They're
exist
not
as a kind of
like huge active things. They're
yeah,
just kind
yeah.
of floating through the water. Yeah. And they're
So
so
they
big.
just live for year and year.
I've always thought the ocean was such a fascinating place, but it's scary to me.
Oh yeah,
Like we've only explored, what is it, 5% of the ocean on the
we've
planet?
we've
Something like that.
we've explored more of the moon than we have.
Yeah, yeah, something like that, right? That's fucking crazy. Like it's just who knows what could be down there.
I want us to go back into not in movies. Remember, like the
Nah,
late
yeah,
'80s.
I was
Remember,
trying to
like
loop it around to something.
remember Leviathan and the Abyss and Deep Star. Is it Deep Star
Yeah.
6? Was that?
Deep,
Let's
Deep
go
Space
back.
Nine.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
those sort of like movies, TV shows in the '80s and '90s where
I just had something I was gonna mention. Now I can't think of it. Like you said something and it reminded me of something, and then it like got lost in translation. See if I can remember it. But it circled back to like 70s horror for some reason. Damn it! I had no idea how long. Still the long lobster thing. Still can't believe I didn't know his name was Big Crack Rock all this time. Silly.
yeah, but I'm definitely
What else do we have coming out this month?
in terms of movie releases.
Yeah, we had
Oh,
the
no
big ones,
idea.
obviously. Halloween Ends, Hellraiser,
I don't even know.
Terrifier 2. Yeah, I don't
I
really
don't
know
even know.
past the middle of the month, really.
I think we've got VHS 99
Yeah,
coming out.
yep, on the 20th.
20th. When's Terror Train dropping? They've
I
remade
keep,
Terror
I keep
Train
hearing of it, but I have no idea when.
because
Is anyone in chat?
I like Terror Train, the original, even though
I don't.
I think it's a bit shit, but I still like it because it's
Yeah,
Jamie Lee
yeah,
Curtis and it's an early 80s film.
yeah. It's not one of my favorites,
But
but
it's not.
I'll watch
Yeah,
it whenever and stuff. She gives
it's.
a great performance.
I mean, I could do without David Copperfield doing like a magic show
Yeah,
for
I know
20
that
minutes.
goes on
Just like,
for way too long.
what
Yeah,
the
20
fuck was
minutes
that all
basically.
about, man?
There's
It's
so
just
many
like
random scenes like that in those early slashers, like Graduation
But
Day, when I was talking about that, with the band scene
yeah,
that just goes on for like
oh,
8
I mean,
minutes.
it's like
So
I always compare David Copperfield's magic scene in Terror Train to the like say prom night with just the dance off. Like, what is going on? Why are you doing this? This is supposed to be a horror film.
it's just
like
padding the runtime. Is exactly what it is. If they can't think of something else, because they got to make a lot of cuts in a lot of those early movies, not enough to warrant like that long minutes of like crazy random scenes. But
another
it's
thing,
got to be reasons for it.
another thing, which if the remake of Terror Train, I hope what they don't do, it's like in the original, they make it so obvious from the beginning who the killer is.
Yeah,
At the opening scene, it's like you think watching it as a modern day, you would think that's a red herring.
It's a red herring,
but he literally is. He's the it's
it
like
was before that red herring was so popular,
Yeah.
like to do that. Yeah, you see that in a decent amount of movies like pre-80s and stuff like that, like mid-70s, like
yeah.
and then they completely made that trope, and now it's like when they used to go see something and it's back the opposite way around. It's like, I didn't expect that at all. It's cool how I like when they like deal with different ideas, turn them on their heads a little bit, change them a little bit, just something to change so we don't see a door slamming in a ghost film for the 45th million time, or a chair rocking back and forth, rocking chair. Like there's just some things that got to be retired already, like certain little things, shots that we've gotten so many times.
Spirit Halloween, the movie. Yeah, I'm sure there's a few more. I mean, I need to go online and have a look. But in terms of like cinema releases, I don't think there's much really. I think it's mainly
Yeah.
going to streaming. There's a lot of stuff that comes out on streaming that I completely miss because
No, me
there's just
too.
there's a lot of stuff that gets dropped on a lot of these streaming services. Shudder does a lot of good stuff, but I'm not
Yeah.
subscribed to Shudder because I can't afford to subscribe to Shudder, to Amazon Prime,
Yeah,
to
I'll give you.
Netflix,
I
to
can give you my login for Amazon if you need. Watch it whenever you want. I'll DM you later. We'll talk about it.
okay, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got Griffins. Who's this?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Oh, hi. I'm in.
I can see
You're in.
someone. Oh, there you
The
go.
light's on you now. You're fully illuminated. You're in. You're
Oh,
good.
okay. How you guys doing?
Not
All
bad,
right.
man.
Just
Oh, I
chilling.
forgot the sunglasses. Oh, whatever.
That's right. You had them on last time. Is
I
that your
don't
thing?
reckon-
You wear them. You wear your sunglasses at night every time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Song. There you go.
Creature of the night.
I don't.
I'm the
I
same
think
way.
this. I think this is the
We're all
first time
night
I've,
people.
I've ever seen you without sunglasses on.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to put those on. Anyways.
I think I only saw him once, so I only saw him that one time with the sunglasses. The stream I came on.
Yeah. So what you guys been talking about?
Random stuff. Halloween ends a little bit more, and then randomly we ended up somehow getting to The Simpsons and how long that show's been
Oh
running.
yeah, we've covered
a few
the
branching topics
covered
and stuff. We
covered
looked
all
around.
bases tonight, really.
Yeah.
Mm.
You got
Are
any-
you
anything
going to
in?
be watching Halloween Friday, Griff?
Yeah, really?
No.
No.
I didn't even see kills.
Okay. That says if we need to know about your feelings of the way it's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
I-
I did
I
get
see-
some physical media pickups today.
Oh,
go
we
on.
cool. See,
Let me grab them real quick. I'm just going to turn the camera off.
you're supposed to
cool.
have them right next to you, man. You got to be prepared.
They're near me. I just...
I'll mess with you.
Anthony says Werewolf by Night is supposed to be good. I've not seen. I'm guessing that
Guess so.
cinema or
I don't. I Werewolf by Night. I heard of that. It came out already,
Hey.
Anthony.
is that Bram Stoker's
Or it's
Dracula?
coming out.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Bram
is.
Stoker's Dracula.
That's cool.
Bram Stoker's Dracula. This version apparently it has ooh, that's pretty cool. His eyes actually, I don't know if you could see that in the camera. But his eyes actually
Yeah, in the
I
center,
can't
kind of. No, it's hard.
yeah, his eyes
Yeah.
actually light up.
That's cool. How much was that?
$20.
That's not bad at all.
It comes with
They come with special features and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's loaded.
Yeah, loaded. Right?
The difference between the Steelbook this Steelbook version and the initial 4K release, because it came out in 4K like 3-4 years ago now. It did not have Dolby Vision, but this version has Dolby Vision support
Okay.
on it.
So it's another upgrade.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm not like well versed in is physical media and stuff. Because even with music, like I'm a musician all these years, 20 something years, I've a few terabytes worth of music. Once Napster came out, like that was it. Like I stopped buying CDs and stuff. Like ever since then, basically, like I stream most things. If it's like films that I had like are some of my favorite films or films I want to just support and stuff like that, I love them so much. Those are the few ones I have still. But like all the stuff, like the new transfers and stuff like that, like I wish I knew more about it and had more. But yeah, it's just something I never got into. But it's cool when I get to see like certain guys, like when you guys do that on your channels, do unboxings and talk about it.
Have you been streaming for 17 hours?
No. Why is it saying I have?
Yeah,
unless we both like
live
passed out
17.
and didn't realize it.
Unless that's
no,
going off
no,
of military
I know
time.
there was an issue with YouTube with StreamYard last night. I did a stream last night, and then I scheduled this stream for tonight, but it was saying on StreamYard or YouTube that they were both going live at the same time. So one of the streams.
So it was like playing two of.
Yeah, YouTube's just been acting weird for me the last.
Maybe that's what happened with me with that stream.
See,
probably
when I went to YouTube Studio today for the stream I did last night, it said child friendly,
Okay.
and I don't know why because it's never said that before. Because I've never
Set it for
when
that,
you
right?
when you
This
do
is
it
not
when
a
you do it
child-friendly stream. That's
Yeah,
when
for
you
that's what
do
I
sure.
do for everyone.
well when you
Like,
do a
can
live
make it
stream.
preset.
When you do a live stream, it doesn't even give you the opportunity to say child. You just do the live stream,
That's
and
right. Yeah.
it only says child friendly when you're doing an actual YouTube upload.
But can you
When
change
you
that after the
choose,
stream?
so I don't know what's going on. YouTube's just being really weird with me, like
Well,
recently.
Yeah.
even
So
the numbers,
I
like
don't understand YouTube. I don't
everything
understand
is.
No,
YouTube.
I don't think anybody does, even the
No,
popular,
no one does.
well-known people. All right, 2 more, and then I'll stop showing.
That's it.
Oh, that's Tom Hardy
Oh,
and Edgerton. Yeah, I like
Yep.
that film.
Nice. It's got a cool. Got a cool. Was it a slipcover? I can't
Uh,
tell from here.
Ooh.
yeah, it's this kind of weird slipcover, kind of like
You'll need to
the
rip
old
that
ones.
up in front of Lawn. Lawn's watching, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
I know.
I actually really like this one.
Oh, the
That's-
Limey. Oh, yeah, Terrence Stamp. Yeah, good movie.
That's cool.
The steelbook's actually really cool looking.
Yeah.
That's cool, actually. Yeah. It's
Got the
amazing
smoke.
some of the stuff they put in the like box sets and all the stuff like that nowadays when they release anniversary releases and stuff or Blu-ray for the first time. They save so much stuff. It's a good thing a lot of these filmmakers and stuff have all these extras and stuff that they eventually get to use down the
Yeah,
line, even
they,
if they never thought they were going to. You know.
Yeah,
What's
no,
this?
Limey. This is the first time it's coming out over here in 4K, and I believe the first time it's been on Blu-ray. I know it's been 4K in, I believe, Germany.
Mhm.
There's a 4K of that, but it today it released, and I wanted to go pick that up because I love the film. It's probably it's one of my favorite Steven Soderbergh films, right next to Out of Sight and what's the Side Effects, the one he did with Jude Law. We did a couple with
I
Jude Law
saw
now, hasn't
Side
he?
Effect. Yeah, I saw Side Effects. I can't remember. I can't remember half of the shit I see now, like over the years anymore.
Yeah.
We all kind of blend together unless they're like a stand. I mean, he's done some great stuff though. I got to get into him again, Soderbergh. Watch all this stuff again. It's been a long time. I got to
What's this,
redo Cronenberg too. I got to rewatch like all his movies because it's been a while.
Oh,
since all his movies.
that's ironic. I just watched a couple of his last
Yeah.
night.
Which ones?
Watched The Brood.
I love The Brood.
Scanners.
Scanners are great.
Yeah, Brood's great.
I love The Brood. Might be one of my it's definitely my top 3 Cronenberg.
Did anybody like Crimes of the Future? Because I fucking hated that film.
I didn't get
I
to
haven't
see
seen
it.
that one yet.
Oh,
Haven't
Yeah, I
seen
didn't
that
see it.
yet.
hated that
I
film.
kept hearing mixed about it. Like you saying that it was terrible, and I heard people saying that they loved it. So, but you get that with every movie. I mean, even with the worst movie that you can think is one of the worst, most terrible movies ever made, there's still going to be an audience out there for people that love that movie. It's just how it works. Like everyone's taste is so different that you'll always have an audience for everything. Basically, like it could be the worst movie to you, and I'll be like, I fucking love that movie. You know, it's fascinating how that is, though.
So
Yeah.
speaking of that, what's some of the name like at least 3 popular movies a lot of people dog on but you love?
All right, I got a lot of unpopular sequel opinions. I know that with franchises. Probably the biggest one will be Halloween. Rob Zombie's H2. I adore that movie. I think it is such a great
that movie has
slasher
actually
movie.
a pretty decent fandom now.
Yeah, it's gotten better over the years. Like when it first came out, though, like it was hated by like pretty much everyone. Like I knew people didn't even want to admit they liked the movie because they were going to get torn apart by it. But it's like a lot of people bitching that Michael said a word, he spoke in it and stuff. And the white horse stuff is kind of stupid, but he's so brutal in that movie. And like, I don't know, just something about Michael in that movie is just different compared to every other Michael we've seen. And it's just a great slasher movie. Like the kills are great. I love it. Like I really do. And I don't meet too many people who love that movie. I know Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. I say it all the time on my channel. It's like,
Oh, you've just took one of my answers there.
yeah, that's right. We've talked about it. Yeah. I love Blair Witch 2. Like that's like a comfort movie for me. Like I've seen that movie more times than I can imagine. And I just wish we get a director's cut at this point and just have them take all that bullshit studio stuff out, which my brain already ignores it all when it happens when I rewatch it anyway. But just to have a full cut like that, like besides a fan edit,
It's better
would
than
be
that
great.
fucking atrocious Blair Witch 2016, whatever it was called.
Yeah, I didn't care for that either.
That was a fucking terrible film.
There's like one
hate-
scene in that I thought was kind of cool, like when the girl with the weird couple that's there with the group of friends, and she like she gets like something happens to her. She gets like sucked up into the sky or something. Or maybe I'm thinking of a completely different thing, and I'm wrong and no idea what I'm talking about. But the movie was not good. Is what
Are you thinking of The Forgotten?
No, but that does sound like what I described just now.
Yeah.
With Julianne Moore. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a decent movie. I haven't seen it in so long, but I remember
it's
it
been
like a
it's
bit.
been almost 20 years since I
Yeah,
seen
something
it.
like that. It was when I rewatched Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. I forgot that young Julianne Moore, was in that in the first segment, like a few weeks ago when I did that.
Christian, was that Christian Slater?
Yeah, I
Steve
love
Buscemi.
Yep. And then some other guy nobody really cares about or anything, the boyfriend of or this brother of Julianne Moore. But I forgot she was in it. And Christian Slater, I think, is a phenomenal actor. Like he always reminded me of Jack Nicholson, like a young Jack Nicholson. With like that
He's
same
always
type
doing
of
impressions.
yeah, exactly, yeah. But like the same like charisma and like just I don't know if you've ever seen like Very Bad Things.
No, I haven't seen that,
Great
but
movie.
I frequently rewatch Broken Arrow and
That's great too.
Hard Rain.
So many things. He was just a great actor, and then you fell off near the end. He just kind of one of those actors that fizzled out. And
Yeah,
it's
he's kind of like John Cusack. They kind of just
and like Edward Norton. Edward Norton kind of like fizzled out too. And I really liked Edward Norton in Primal Fear.
Well, supposedly with Edward Norton, it was because he had an issue.
Ego. Yeah, he had like attitude, hard to work with, and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, he's meant to be a complete prick, isn't he? Basically.
Yeah. Now you're gonna get that with most celebrities, I would guess, but at least a decent amount of them. Can't think.
John Cusack. I love the what's that movie? John Cusack, 1408. The Stephen King.
I love that. It's probably my favorite adaptation of a Stephen King horror story, with Shawshank being my favorite adaptation of a Stephen King story.
Yeah, love 14.
That is such a fascinating film. Shawshank's become just so well known and so beloved.
It's just a brilliant, perfect film almost to me. Like every time I watch it, it's just I'm never bored. I'm blown away by everything about it. And it's been one of my favorite movies and like in my top 5 for like since I first saw it when I was a kid.
Oh,
and I just love it more and more as the years go on, and I rewatch it every time.
Got Nick in the chat. What's up, Nick?
No, what's up, Nick?
Just got watching your live stream before. Yeah. If you're not subscribed to Nick, I'm sure everyone is because he's got like 2,500 subs. But anybody who's not subscribed, yeah, Nick just fucking amazing content, man. Next Halloween 2. I know you're a fan of Halloween 2.
Zombies.
Yeah. Nick did a video on Halloween 2. Zombies Halloween 2. Yeah, he did a really good video because he loves it.
Check
it out.
There's some people out there with me. H2, I fucking love that movie. And like you said, it's been getting not a lot, but it's been getting a little more accepted as the years go on. Like in 2009, a few years after that, everyone hated that movie, except for like the few nutcases, I guess, who had the differing opinions. But what's some of your two guys' films that that most people hate that are favorites of yours?
You know what? A lot of the films
I stole Blair Witch 2 from you, so
yeah, and I was going to say a lot, in terms of. It's usually the opposite. A lot of it's stuff I hate that people love. And
I get that too.
If you're a hateful bastard.
If you're a hateful bastard.
It's because I really like to.
You like to shit on everything, don't you?
I mean, I'm not as positive as
it's like,
a lot of people, so I kind of, it's like I can't love Jason Goes to Hell. I hear people like saying, "Oh," and I'm like, "No, I hate the film. Hate the
Yeah, well,
film. I can't.
I
can't."
get it, but you know there is some stuff in that movie that's pretty good. You know, you should give it another chance. You might
I've
like it
given
this
it.
time.
I've watched it 5, 6 times. I can't give it.
No, it's not
But
a movie that you should even give more than a few times. Like it's like we've talked about it. It's not a good Friday movie at all. Terrible. At least they had fun with Jason X after that, and like knew how crazy it was. Jason Goes to
Jason
Hell
X
was
was
like,
at least
serious.
Jason X.
Like, they're trying to be
At
serious.
least Jason X was kind of like. I always felt Jason X wasn't taking himself. I'm not saying
Yeah.
Jason Goes to Hell was taking himself too seriously, but Jason X did feel like just a complete balls to the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Just whereas Jason Goes to Hell just felt like it was still trying to cling on to the whole
To the
Camp Crystal
tone
Lake
kind
thing.
of
But
yeah, I do
it's
too.
just so far removed from the first 8 films. At least
Oh, yeah.
X went in a completely different direction.
Mhm.
With Goes to Hell, they were still, because with the setup of Camp Crystal Lake
There
was
was-
still a thing. But
Mhm.
we've got this Jason who's like a worm now who goes and he talks, you know, it's like,
Yeah, I just watched it a few weeks ago.
like,
Yeah.
oh no, man.
But like I said I was surprised that like it's still not a great movie at like any means. Like whether it's you're talking a Friday movie or just a regular movie. But like if you just watch it as just for the practical effects, basically, I was decently entertained just by like it being like a effects creature body horror movie, and just take all that Jason shit out and just like pretend it don't exist. And then
Yeah.
I with that like most all those things taken out of my mind, I had a little bit of laughter and enjoyment out of it. Does that mean it's a great movie or a good movie? No. And I probably
Next,
won't watch it again for a long time.
Nick says he got a lot of shit for his Doctor Sleep opinions. He says it's a masterpiece. I personally, I mean, Doctor Sleep, I like Doctor Sleep. Doctor Sleep was a film that, I mean, I know some people probably hated it, but it was very well received certainly in the press. In terms of the mainstream, I think it was very well received. I'm obviously you're gonna get a contingent of people who are diehard Shining fans.
Yeah, that no matter
gonna
what,
they're never gonna like anything.
Yeah, no matter what you
comes
do,
after, but
it'll never top their film.
In terms of the mainstream media and a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of it did get a lot of love, but obviously with a film like The Shining, which is so, I don't think there's any horror movie possibly anywhere. Maybe no other horror movie other than The Shining has such a die-hard loyal fan base in terms of like, because of the whole, there's so much like
elements to it.
Elements hidden, whether there even are hidden elements, it's kind of like,
oh, not even the hidden ones. Just
it's
the
your
ones
own
there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's what your own interpretation. There's been documentaries made about The Shining.
There's 237, so many.
Stanley Kubrick directed, the moon landings, and he put it all in The Shining movie. There's all this other like sort of like suggestion in it, and that's kind of like played into a lot of people's like love for the film as well. So I think when they did obviously release Doctor Sleep, there was going to be an element of people who were just like, well, we can't improve on Kubrick, because Kubrick has got like a diehard fan base who are just like never gonna like, big time.
One of the biggest, probably, I would say.
Yeah.
Of directors. And I mean, he's a phenomenal director, so I mean, you can't really fault it. But I mean, like Eyes Wide Shut, I never cared for.
Oh, if you want to go down a rabbit hole,
are there a lot of rabbits?
Go down the Eyes Wide Shut rabbit hole. There's crazy conspiracy videos on that film.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, we already got one with Kubrick filming the moon landings from an earlier movie is.
Yeah, I mean,
So I can imagine how far that rabbit hole goes with Eyes Wide Shut.
oh fucking hell, man! It goes deep, really deep. The sort of shit I've spent a lot of time, mate, in the dark corners of the internet reading about that sort of stuff to do with Eyes Wide Shut. It's it's pretty crazy.
Isn't it funny when you find yourself in that situation, just reading just like for hours of just like the most random thing you never thought earlier, like that day, you're like, later I'm going to be reading about this, and like you're like real deep into it. I don't know. I say, hey, it's this time. It's school time. I enjoy.
Jay's in the chat. What's up, Jay? Let's see you on board, man. Hope you like the new setup.
I think it sounds great, man. Hold this whole stream on the computer.
I'm fucking made up with the way it's gone.
No, it sounds great. No issues, really, nothing.
So you feel like a proper YouTuber now.
Nick says it. That's why I still don't, I guess, on my laptop.
It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. No, I'm going to be back to the laptop on Friday for the Halloween Halloween Ends live stream. Back to the old. Nick says it deviated a lot from the book, Anthony. Like a lot. It's the sole reason King made it a rule that he gets to approve any screenplay of one of his stories before
he hated it. He hated The Shining, Kubrick's version.
Yeah,
and I can see why. Like with the whole, he left out the whole like alcoholic plot. Like it's there a bit, but they dive way more into it. King dives into it in the novel.
Yeah,
with Jack's alcoholism and the whole trauma with Danny in the past with him, and like they dive so much further into the father-son relationship than in the movie. So like I could see definitely that people would prefer that, but the only way besides reading the book that you could prefer that and see that is the miniseries, which that kid who plays Danny, man, I mean, like obviously we never heard a kid, but looking at that face, I just want to punch that kid in the face, like every time I see him. He just something about him and Bob from Fulci's Manhattan Baby and House by the Cemetery. Those two characters, for some reason, I can't look at them. Like, I don't know. That's your random observation for you. You can take it with you, free of cost.
Free of cost.
Free of cost.
Kubrick trusted Boogie like a boss. Yeah,
I don't think he's ever been like silent.
Do you think that there's an element of King is like jealous of the love that film got, and he's a bit pissed?
I can see it. I mean, obviously, you can't speak for King and how he feels, but I could see that, and I've thought of that over the years. Like maybe he just, like you said, I made this as my second book after Carrie, and it did well and stuff, but now Kubrick, one of like the greatest directors of all time, is making my movie and it's getting praise, and it's not what I envisioned it. I can absolutely see him being pissed off about that. Like most people, I would assume would. Like if someone took like a song I recorded or written and they just completely changed it for the most part, like and kept a few things intact, I can see where he's coming from, absolutely. But I mean, you can't really live with that and let it like destroy you. And I think that's kind of what led him to do the remake and him be like in charge of all that, just so he can kind of do his own version that sticks to his vision as much as he wants it to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, that miniseries goes nowhere even close to the same stratosphere as Kubrick's movies. So, like, there's no like comparison between the two of them at all.
Catch up with the chat finger.
Yeah, I was just looking down too.
I would go with as far as movies. A lot of people dislike a James Bond film, Diamonds Are Forever. I know
that's
one of the ones. A lot of people don't like that one because it's slow, because it has the least amount of action, and it's, it was the first campy Bond film, so
that
it gets a lot of hate, but I enjoy it. like that's one of my comfort films. I could throw that on and just
Whenever, right? Yeah, and just enjoy it. Those,
just kind of zone.
I got a
out.
lot of those. A Clue from the '80s, like that's one of my. I could throw that movie on whenever. With Tim Curry, the
Yeah.
Clue movie. I love that movie so much. I probably know every line to that movie because like when I was like, I don't know, like 10, 11, 12 years old, like I only had a VHS player in my room, and I only had like maybe like 10 VHSs with some movies on them, so I would just leave it in the player for like weeks on end. And just like I need something to fall asleep to, like either the radio or a TV in the background, like something. So I would just press play on the VHS, and it would be the same fucking movie playing for like a week or two straight. And I know a lot of movies, all the words to them, just from that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, fucking crazy, I guess. Unless
Question
other
for
people do that.
JT.
What's that?
Question for you, JT and Big
Yes,
T.
shoot. You may shoot. Question, JT. Does the new episodes of Chucky come out Tuesday or Wednesday? So it'll be tomorrow at 9:00.
Did you like it? Did you watch it?
Yes, and I did a video on it. I'm going to do it after every episode. I thought it was.
I didn't like it.
I saw your post on it, and I agree with most of it. Like, there was nothing really wrong with it. I felt like the way that they got them all back together, the three of them, Lexi and Jake and Devin, felt kind of manufactured a bit just to get them to that school, like with the whole thing with Chucky blowing up the brother, and like they felt like there was no investigation at all into that they just went to the therapist like the next scene, and they were just like, all right, well, you guys have to go to this school for troubled youth. And like I feel like they could have fleshed that out a little bit, but it's the first episode of the new season. There's so much that went on and stuff that's going through their minds, like emotionally, what's going on with them, especially with Jake and Devin. We see how far Lexi slipped into just self-medication and everything. So there was a lot of stuff to address and like build up a bit into getting our characters where they're going to be for the rest of the season. So I get why it was a little uneventful. Like this isn't an episode I would judge what I think maybe the rest could be. After another 2-3 episodes, then I would maybe be able to like guide my expectations for it.
Do you think I like the point I made that when I tweeted out was like with the multiple Chuckies, it kind of takes away from like the sort of if there's multiple Chuckies,
Yeah,
kind of, you know,
like the idea of like you don't know, like he could be wherever, and like the
yeah,
tension maybe it takes away. Yeah, I can see that. Like Cult wasn't really like it's not a big favorite of mine in the franchise. Like Child's Play franchise is one of my favorite franchises in horror. I accept the remake, but anything Don Mancini is involved in, which is all the movies, like except for the remake, everything he does is gold to me. Like even Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, I adore those movies.
See, that's the thing with the TV show.
A
Like,
lot of people don't like. TV show.
Well, as the TV show goes on, it's like
Mm.
I checked out after Bride of Chucky, so I didn't go down to see, you know, because I just heard bad things. So I checked out after Bride.
I know.
I watched the remake and then the TV show. So there's a few films I've not seen.
Okay.
And I know that they're bringing stuff in, which is kind of, if you haven't seen Seed or Curse, maybe, you're kind of like thinking. So I'm kind of thinking, well, you know,
you don't want to feel a little lost with things.
I don't really want to have to sift through Seed of Chucky to understand what's going on with.
I love Seed of Chucky, man. That's what I love about movies, though, and all entertainment. It's just how someone like we have a lot of shit in common. We talk about and some same opinions, but then we all have shit like this that like you'll hate a movie that I absolutely love. But like, it's so fascinating how people like everyone's completely different, even if we have things so similar to each other, and being in like the same interests with film or movies or music or what have you.
Question for
Griff?
Griff?
Be very similar, but different.
My God.
Griff,
I would love to cast. Well, he's old. He's a little too old now because I know that the producers they wanted someone. They want someone in their 30s, early to mid 30s. They made that comment. We'd love to see like Richard Armitage. He was in the Lodge, and he was
wow, I haven't seen the Lodge in a while.
They tend to
foreign.
go with people who aren't. See, personally, I would say, well, Henry Cavill is James Bond. It's just Henry Cavill. It's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
he is just James Bond, but he's probably too famous now. They tend to go with people who haven't
But yeah,
made it yet.
not like
Um,
Leslie, but like people who blow up.
There's a
Yeah,
UK
people who
show.
are not
Yeah,
as popular, they always pick.
there's a
Or
guy.
just right on the radar, just right under the radar.
Yeah, right under the radar a bit. Yeah.
There's a guy called. He's British as well. He's called Theo something. He's just is James Bond. He was in.
Was he in
God.
The Man from U.N.C.L.E., the remake? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
He's kind of like mid-30s, like
Oh, okay, yeah, someone else.
like sickeningly attractive.
Yeah.
He was in the Inbetweeners movie.
James Bond's gotta be. Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was in. If
I'd
you've seen the
recognize him,
he was in the Inbetweeners movie. Where he played
Okay.
like this dickhead boyfriend of like the girl who.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
fancied.
That was the first movie, right? Because
Yeah,
yeah,
when
Yeah,
they go
okay.
to Spain. Yeah,
yeah,
he'd be perfect as James Bond. Whether he's got the acting chops to really, he just looks the part. But and then there's a TV show called Bridgerton,
Okay.
which has got like he's like a black guy because I think the odds on it being a white guy are pretty slim. The way things are going now,
Yeah.
they're probably going to make him a black guy. To be fair, which I mean, I would have liked to. I would have been fine with Idris Elba 10 years ago, but Idris Elba's too old now.
Yeah,
Elba's
no,
50.
he would have been an interesting Bond.
he's-
Like, yeah,
Idris
back
Elba's-
then, yeah.
He's 50 now. You can't have a 50.
Yeah, no, you're not having a 50-year-old Bond.
They already did that with
Who-
Roger Moore.
Yeah, Roger Moore, and that didn't work out.
Well, they didn't start.
We
that
got
shit,
Moonraker. I like Moonraker actually.
but I like Moonraker too.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. I love Jaws too. He's a great villain.
It's
Or is he in the? Yeah, is that? Yeah, he was
like honestly the only Bond film. I'll admit I'm a Bond film mark. The only one I don't like is Spectre, the second to last one that came out.
Is that the one with
It's-
the guy? I can't think of his fucking name. Who was in No Country for Old Men? And
No, that was Skyfall.
no, that was Skyfall. Okay, all right, yeah. I don't think I saw Skyfall.
Skyfall's
I fell off on Bond movies like as I got a little older.
yeah.
I
Who's
remember
your
I saw
favorite Timothy Dalton?
No, I liked Sean Connery.
Oh, really?
Sean Connery and Pierce Brosnan were always my two favorite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I know. Dalton's getting his fan base grows every year. He gets
yeah.
people are really devoted to him. Like, I think he's a good actor, but the problem is they kept trying to. The only thing he was terrible at was they kept trying to force the Roger Moore one-liners.
I remember that they were trying to shape him into into Roger Moore, kind of in the way that he just in the character a little bit, which you got to kind of.
The only thing I don't like about him as Bond.
Yeah, like when they make a new Bond, it's kind of
you can't deliver. You're not like his heart. His heart was not into the one-liners. You can tell.
Yeah, and if it's your heart's not into it, it's going to show and bleed through the screen, and you're going to notice it.
And what's funny is Connery really didn't care for those, but Connery was a consummate actor. He was always giving it his all.
Yeah.
Except for You Only Live Twice, he's pissed off in that film because there was just a lot of behind the scenes shenanigans going on.
I gotta watch more like behind the scenes with older Bond movies.
You can find them on YouTube. They're called
what is it called?
Inside. Like it's Inside.
Oh,
you
like
Inside
movie.
Thunderball, and just Inside Diamonds Are Forever, Majesty's Secret Service. So they're about 15 to 25 minutes.
I just typed one in now, so I have it saved. Yeah, I'd like to watch some of those. I haven't seen a Bond movie in like years. My dad used to like them when I was growing up and got me into them. But then it's been a while.
Oh yeah.
But Goldfinger I always loved. Like probably that's my favorite one. GoldenEye I like just because like that was like the newer one, like when I was getting into it. And because of the video game on N64, which everyone loved that game.
It's coming back.
Is it
officially coming back? Yeah.
What on what? Like they're like remastering?
No, they're not really remastering it. They're just re-releasing it with
Okay.
Upscale. They're upscaling
Hey,
the
I'll take it.
graphics and
I'll take
giving it 60 FPS.
Yeah, I'll take that over not. I
It's
haven't played it
for
forever.
it's for the Xbox consoles and Nintendo Switch.
Okay, cool. I got both. That works.
Yeah,
I got the same thing
so-
when they really they've been doing that a lot. Like obviously with releasing remasters or remakes. They did that with Destroy All Humans, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. But it would be cool to have
Because they know because they
GoldenEye.
finally figured out, oh wow, this stuff actually sells.
Yeah, because it reminds people of better times back in the day than how things are now.
Well, and then also like those games had quirks.
That
and
charm to it too.
they had charm to them. Games nowadays, they're trying to become the film industry, so
Yep.
they're becoming ultra dour, self-serious.
Yes.
Like the first 3 Uncharted video games were super fun, happy-go-lucky, and then the fourth one's just dour and gloomy the whole time.
They just feel like, I guess, it's not all games, obviously, but it's just a lot of the AAA games. I feel like you said, they're trying to make, especially with each like new generation of consoles, or they keep kind of just trying to up it more and make it look more realistic and make it look more like a movie and put more complicated storylines or side quests and stuff. Like they're treating it like a movie, which is a different form of entertainment. Like playing to the strength of that it's a video game. It's not a movie. And there's a lot of shit you can do in a game that you can't do in movies or see in a movie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
no, I agree with that they push it too much now into like the movie direction, like feeling too much like a production.
So I'll get us back to horror in just a second. But the developers of the Bond games, Agent or Fire, Everything or Nothing, and From Russia with Love, the game adaptation they made, those developers went on. They were finally given free reign to make a brand new, because all those games, well, except for Russia with Love, didn't do great, but the other 2 did amazing sales wise. So they were given free reign to make whatever they want, and they made Dead Space.
You broke up again. Dead Space, you said?
Yep, Dead Space. They went.
I love
they got free reign, and they made Dead Space, which is now getting a remake.
I heard that actually. That's interesting.
Did you see the trailer?
I don't watch trailers now. Even
Watch
for
the trailer.
games,
You played through Dead Space, right?
The first 2 I beat. I played some of the third one. I didn't care for it.
Oh yeah,
A lot less suspenseful, a lot more actiony and stuff, which I get it, but
I mean,
not for me.
When you watch the trailer, you can tell it's just they don't give anything away. They actually hide a lot.
Actually, that's a trailer I wouldn't mind watching. Like there's certain
watch the trailer.
Like,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm bringing up right now actually on YouTube to watch.
You know what? It's amazing.
But I did hear that they were remaking it. When is it supposed to approximately like what?
January.
2 years.
I think it's January.
Oh, January. That's soon. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then the developers of the original Dead Space are making a game called Callisto Protocol. Another
like similar like survival horror. Okay.
Yeah, it's survival action horror.
Nice.
Looks pretty. That one looks pretty good too.
Yeah, I always.
So it's kind of. I love the irony. Like the original developers are, releasing their brand new game, and then their game gets remade.
Yeah. That's kind of like, I don't know. It just reminded me of something, but I forgot already. So we'll just move on. How are you circling?
When Zero Dark 30 was, when did Zero Dark 30 come out?
That was like right around GoldenEye, wasn't it? Because they were like similar in engine. Or am I thinking of it?
Oh, Zero Dark 30. I'm talking about the movie.
Okay, the movie. Okay.
I can't remember, but it was kind of funny. They had the remake of Point Break was coming out, and they had Catherine Bigelow on like Good Morning America. But she wasn't talking about that. She was talking about whatever her latest film was.
I have to play some. I got a lot of like. I don't want to keep going with horror though. So let's. Anyone have any horror stuff to circle back to? I mean, Dead Space is a little horror. So.
I'm
Super
probably gonna have
awesome.
to like check out now, guys. It's
Yeah, it's late for him.
Yeah, I know it's late
it's
for you guys.
it's
Fine.
it's 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's only 10
Uh,
minutes, so you guys.
we've gone for
All right, Mike.
we've gone for a good 2.5
No, we've
hours.
been on
It's
for
been
a
a good
while.
show.
Yeah.
We've
Fine,
gone
fast,
for well.
I didn't realize we were on.
I'll be back online Friday night. So if you guys have seen Halloween Ends, I know
No, that's
Griff.
the
I know
Halloween
you
Ends
may
one.
probably.
Yeah.
I know Griff probably won't have watched it, but JT, I'm
You
sure
could
if you've
spoil
seen
it
it,
for me
I'll
all you
watch it,
want.
yeah.
Feel free.
Well, if you want
That's
to
how I
jump
would've
on,
felt
we'll
if I
just
didn't see
spoil it for you.
Yeah, there you go. So
I'll
you get
probably
free,
watch.
You get free discussion, free spoilers. You don't
Yeah.
have to go see the movie.
So
Yeah,
Sounds
I'll
good.
99%. I'll see it by that night.
yeah, okay. So yeah, Friday night, Halloween Ends live post mortem. We'll be discussing it, dissecting it, spoiling it.
Absolutely.
So everybody in the chat who's been on tonight, thank you very much. Thank you for JT.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you,
for
Griff,
coming.
for jumping
Thanks
on,
for
man.
tuning in, guys.
No problem.
And,
you guys take it easy.
I'll see you
let me
guys
say
on
just-
Friday.
Both of you.
Let me say just one thing, guys. Make sure you guys go and keep voting for the 4 nominees for YouTuber of the month, our YouTuber of the month for November, because like I've said a few times, it absolutely helps. All the people nominated, the channels are amazing. They have great content. So just keep on voting if you haven't voted. Make sure you get a vote in at least, so that way every channel gets more recognition and can keep growing in any way that it can, because they all deserve it. So thanks, guys, for voting, and thank you for those who haven't voted, who will be voting.
Well said. Okay, guys.
Absolutely.
I'll see you later.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
JT, see you on Friday night,
talk to
man.
you. All right, buddy.
See you later, man.
Take
See you
care,
later,
man.
brother. Goodbye.
Take care. Good night.